Hello everyone and welcome to the PWC All In post-game show. I am your host Jimmy T and my co-host, he's back. He is the good doctor. He is Dr. Michael Jargo. Man, welcome back to the PWC. And finally, it's been a long time, man, and I'm just pumped that you're here, bro.
It has. It's been a while. And, when was the last time that we did a show together? Was it like over a year ago? It's been a while, man.
It feels like that, but you know what? It was, I think this year, believe it or not, but earlier in the year, I kid you not. I'm talking about maybe April. Yeah.
Wow.
Because I was looking at the shows and I'm like, fuck, I don't even remember doing that show. But yeah, we did I think it was an uncaged, a random uncaged or a skirmish.
Yeah, well, it does happen on occasion. Somebody asked me, hey, can you do this show? And I happen to have, some time that I can actually do it. You just caught me at the right place at the right time. But, time is money, man. Let's get this thing rolling.
Absolutely, time is money. And before we do get it officially rolling, Jargo, I just want to ask you.
Oh, and the technical issues are back. Jimmy T.
And there goes my net again.
Yeah, see, I was worried about this. It
should be cool for now. But yeah, give us your thoughts on the passings, man, of Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt.
Well, I mean, two guys that were very, very similar as far as the approach goes. Very, very creative individuals that, were very, very misunderstood inside of the business. Terry Funk was an absolute student of the game, but we were talking about it before we went on air. 1965 was his first match and his last match in 2017. That's just crazy, absolutely insane to think about. And I don't even know, what do you consider the highlight of Terry Funk's career? Because, some people would say, it was the tag team with Dory. Some would say it was the feud with Flair. Some would say that it was ECW. Some would say that it's Chainsaw Charlie. Like, as you look through the different eras of Terry Funk, they're so incredibly similar and so incredibly different what he was giving back to us as fans during that period in time.
Well, you know what? You know what's underrated too, Jargo? His Japanese run, man. His Japan run.
Yeah.
I actually think... And I've seen a lot of his Japanese stuff over the years. And I don't know, man. I'm going to say this. People are going to hate on me for saying this. You know how it is, right? But I actually really loved his Japanese run. And, in ECW, he reinvented himself and was a huge star once again. And in turn, he got another WWE run. And he got a late WCW run also.
And, the run with Mick Foley as Chainsaw Charlie is probably how most people know him, which is just astonishing to me.
No.
Well, yeah, because think of how many people were watching Monday Night Raw at that point, right? Like how many?
Still millions, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was millions of fans, right? But you go back to like his stuff from like the late '60s, the early '70s, all this stuff with Dory, like. It wasn't on mainstream television. People weren't seeing it. I think Terry Funk was introduced to a much broader audience as Chainsaw Charlie than he ever was as Terry Funk, which is just crazy to think about when you get outside of the wrestling bubble.
He did have a run in ECW just prior to his Chainsaw Charlie run, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. He was the lifeblood of ECW.
And I'm talking about 96, 95, 96.
He gave the rub to that whole company, right?
That was his run. Between 95 and 98 is pretty much... actually 97, should I say, was Terry Funk's real run in ECW. There was times, man, where I remember a promo, especially in ECW, I think it was with Tommy Dreamer, where he absolutely, how do I put this, man? He gave it to Tommy Dreamer, so bad, bro. Like you said,
Dreamer deserved it.
Yeah, do you remember
in those days, Dreamer deserved it.
Why? What makes you say that?
Are you a Tommy Dreamer lover or a Tommy Dreamer hater?
Honestly, I'm probably indifferent with Tommy Dreamer. I don't really... honestly, do you think he's a bit overrated, man? When you think about it, he was...
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The Tommy Dreamer thing to me is like, Paul saw Tommy Dreamer as the babyface of ECW. And I don't feel like he ever lived up to that hype, right? Like Dreamer had a great run in ECW, but he also leached on to guys like Tommy Dreamer, guys like Raven, guys like Funk, guys like Foley. Like he got into all these great programs because Paul saw it in Dreamer. I just never did.
Yeah, it's strange though, but he did have his fan base in ECW though, man. I mean, people did love him, but I just didn't get it. Like, I get it. What, he was just like you and I, pretty much. So
Yeah.
everybody had to get behind him because he's one of us, per se. I mean, cool.
I always pulled against Dreamer, right? Like I wanted Raven to win that feud.
Oh, I loved Raven, dude. I mean, Raven's my guy. Like, no shit. Raven is one of my favorite wrestlers growing up, man. And I think he's.
I wanted to see the Sandman Kane Tommy Dreamer. Like Tommy Dreamer had it coming.
Absolutely,
right? Like,
absolutely.
Tommy Dreamer was always trying to prove to everybody how hardcore he was. That was basically the entire story of Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah, I mean, and he just, I mean, think about when his original run in ECW, his very first run, before he became like what he became later on. I'm not the innovator of violence. Just before that, when he was just a white meat baby face.
Right.
I mean, he was a big dude, but he looked weird, man. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I was never a big Dreamer guy. Never was. Funk, on the other hand, like Terry Funk for ECW, what would you even call a comparison? Like kind of what Sting is doing now for AEW, like just lending that credibility. Bigger. But much bigger because he was
running he was the champ.
And he was involved in so much more singles feuds. Like Funk could still get in there and have a 20-minute singles match. I'm not sure Sting could at this point.
No, they hide Sting's weaknesses a lot. Then again, he does jump off turnbuckles and go through tables now, which is weird.
Yep. But yeah, I don't feel like guys like Terry Funk and Too Cold Scorpio get nearly enough credit for what they did in ECW, giving those guys that rub and helping develop that talent roster.
Well, Funk definitely developed that roster, and so did Too Cold Scorpio before him, even during that time. And yeah, Too Cold doesn't, like right now, I feel like no one really mentions him anymore, which is crazy because he was one of the original pillars of ECW when you think about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. His best work was in ECW, I think.
Oh, forget Flash Funk, bro. Let's be honest. Remember that?
I tried to forget Flash Funk.
I fucking
crazy.
That. And the Funk.
And then on the other side, you have Bray Wyatt. And
yeah. Crazy, dude.
Bray Wyatt is kind of in that category of, my God, if we just could have seen what Bray wanted us to see instead of running through that Vince McMahon lens, you know, it sucks.
I mean,
it sucks all the way around. But we knew Bray was sick. We knew that he was fighting something. I had no idea it was this serious, though. Did you?
No, absolutely not. As a matter of fact, I hate to say this, man, but I was one of those guys that started doubting him. Actually, as a matter of fact, I was on the Next Level podcast last week with Big Ray, and John Enright, the vet, wasn't around last week because, you know, he had issues. I think
he was doing vet
weather.
Stuff.
Yeah, vet stuff, exactly. But anyway, and Big Ray asked me who would you fire right now in WWE if you had the chance to fire anyone? And I hate to say this, but I mentioned Bray Wyatt, and I'm a huge fan of Bray's, right? But the only reason why I said that is because I was thinking, is he mentally not well? Because illness can mean anything, right? And automatically, a lot of us, you know, especially in the IWC, were thinking mental issues. And you know what? I'm not going to lie. So did I. So I was saying, like, I would actually fire Bray Wyatt right now because he's on $3.5 million a year. And mentally, I don't think he's ready for this run again. You know what I mean? And that's a shame because I would have brought him back later on again, but he needs to get mentally right. But boy, was I wrong, because clearly he did have an issue, and it was a severe issue which caused him to pass away, which sucks. Could it be because of the, you know what I'm talking about? Or I don't know, man, but you can't even mention it on the air these days, Jargo. Put it that way.
Right. Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I was a big fan of the original Bray Wyatt character, of the cult leader Bray Wyatt character.
Absolutely, dude. That was the best version, in my opinion.
I didn't like much of anything else. And my problem, Rick and I talked about this in real time as it was happening with The Fiend, was I just didn't feel like that character translated to pro wrestling. Like it was a really, really cool character, but at the end of the day, he has to have a wrestling match. And I never felt like that character fit inside of a wrestling context in 2023.
I'm glad you actually mentioned that because you're spot on. And that's the issue. I think he's too creative for professional wrestling, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because really, let's be honest, Jargo, we don't need complex storylines like that in professional wrestling. I don't think a lot of professional wrestling fans, how do I put this, man? I don't want to say maybe not in tune with stories like that. And to be fair, even though you and I would like this type of stuff, this complicated type of storytelling and whatnot, it's at the end of the day, it's professional wrestling. And I don't think fans can sort of comprehend these type of storylines in pro wrestling because, you know, everyone's got a short attention span, man, these days. Except for the Bloodline storyline. I mean, it's an exception the way they've done that, though.
I mean, I feel like that's true, but part of it's also on Vince, right? Because, like, I see what Malachi Black is doing with the House of Black inside of AEW, and I feel like it was kind of in that same realm that Bray wanted to be in, but Malachi Black is still a wrestling character, right? Like you didn't have the Firefly Funhouse, you didn't have the transformation, you didn't have all the crazy, weird, spooky magic and the giant mallet hammers. And I wish that we could have seen, like, could you imagine what Wyndham Rotunda would have done if he would have signed with Lucha Underground like 6 years ago?
Oh, see,
you know what I mean? Like,
perfect.
In that kind of a context, the Fiend character would work. But in a WWE super polished presentation, it just never worked for me. Or yes, MLW is another one that it would have been absolutely fantastic.
MLW wants to be Lucha Underground, but they're doing a bad job of it, dude.
They're doing a better job of it than what AEW is doing right now. I mean, we're seeing it in AEW, right? Like this whole Rush and La Facción and Gobernable thing, like it would work. It would work in Lucha Underground. It doesn't work in an AEW context.
I mean, that's also a good segue in a way to AEW things, but I just want to say before I get to you on that one, RIP to Wyndham Rotunda. I mean, I've spoken about this in nauseum for the last 3 episodes easily, but I did want to get your thoughts, and it is a tragic way for him to go, man. I feel bad for his kids and his wife and just his family in general, and it just sucks, man, because you and I are older than him. Think about that, right?
In a weird way, this is going to cement his legacy, though.
I said the same thing, bro. It's poetic. Right? It's poetic, bro.
Right. Whereas, like, if Nirvana would have kept going past 1994 and just became a crappy band, we wouldn't look at them the way that we do now. We can look back on Bray Wyatt and his contributions to the business in 5 years from now. I don't think we're going to be talking about The Fiend. I think we're going to be talking about cult leader Bray Wyatt. And I think this is going to cement that legacy, as awful as it is. I mean, we've kind of seen the same thing with Mr. Brody Lee, right? Like he was always like treated as this mid-card star. And then he gets to AEW. He's right on the verge of having this great run, and tragedy strikes. Well, now we all remember that great run and what could have been. And I feel like with Bray Wyatt, unfortunately, it's going to be what could have been.
Oh, man. I'm so glad you said that, because I said no shit on the Wednesday night skirmish last week, as me and Chris were talking about it, because we did the skirmish an hour after his passing, dude, ironically. And Chris broke down on the air, dude. It's a pretty full-on episode, that one, man. And I said to Chris and to the listeners, I'm like, no offense, I don't know how to put this, right? I go, but in a way, it's poetic the way he went, the way he went, because I go, and I don't want it to come out wrong, but that's why the way you explained it was like perfect. Yeah, exactly. Ghost.
I'm responding to the chat.
Oh, I didn't see that, because sometimes the chat can distract me. I'm easily distracted. But like I was saying, don't tell me that's a fucking White Claw, Jargo. It's Ghost.
Ah, my guy.
Yeah. Shout out to Media M5. Anyway, but yeah, I was saying it's poetic the way he went, because I know this is going to sound even more silly, but I'm sure you can relate because clearly we think the same way about this. But you could always see Bray Wyatt going young, dude. I don't know why, but it was just like almost it was meant to be in a weird sense. It's almost like deja vu, dude. It's like I've seen this before without seeing it, but I saw it. Does that make sense? And that's why, just the way he is and the way he thinks, and just him in general, it was just poetic for him to go the way he went.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I mean, you deal with that a lot when you deal with people with that kind of mindset, right?
Right.
You know, like I was talking with my oldest here not too long ago about Jim Morrison.
Right.
Live fast, die young, leave a good looking corpse, right? Like, I mean, and he died at 27, and it just kind of solidified the Doors' place in history. It's crazy.
Right. And absolutely. If you don't know who the Doors are, I mean, come on, and you don't know who Jim Morrison is.
Yeah. If you don't know who the Doors are, don't talk to me. I don't want to talk to those kind of people. I don't need that kind of negativity in my life.
I hope today's generation know who the fuck they are. But anyway, it is what it is. Exactly. That's why I'm just like, fuck that. But yeah, man. RIP once again to Wyndham Rotunda, a.k.a. Bray Wyatt.
Absolutely.
He will definitely be missed, but he does cement his legacy, no doubt, Jargo, man. You're spot on about that. But,
you know what sucks? I wish that we could have had, like, this Roman Reigns title reign that's went on for like 3 years. I would have loved to have seen Bray Wyatt get a real title reign, like a 2-year title reign, just putting people down left and right with the cult leader Bray Wyatt character. It would have been incredible.
They always started and stopped with him, dude. Like, I don't know what it is. Yep. Like, if you believe some rumors, I mean, I've heard Triple H say that the problem with Bray Wyatt and trying to write his shit, first of all, I know he does his own stuff, but there's a lot of frustration on both sides by the way they're trying to do certain things. Like, you know, dude, you know what you got to check out? Go to YouTube whenever you have time and type Wyndham 6.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Have you seen all the vignettes on that?
Yep.
Dude, that's Bray Wyatt. Like, that's what he really wants to do, but WWE just would not allow that full-on graphic type of stuff. But if
it's the WWE lens, you know what I mean? Like,
it looks like it.
When I think back to like
bucks, bro,
worst matches in pro wrestling history, not called the Texas Chainsaw Massacre match,
right?
When they did the Hell in a Cell with Bray Wyatt and Seth Rollins, and like you can see, like the Fiend Bray Wyatt pitching this match, and this is what I want it to be, but and then you see the lens that WWE put it through, and it becomes one of the worst things in the history of professional wrestling. You know,
travesty.
It could have been really, really cool, but it wasn't. You know, kind of like All In. It could have been really, really cool. It just wasn't.
I'm not going to lie, Jargo. Do you want to be completely honest? And that's a good segue. Let's get into AEW All In, shall we? It was a historic night from Wembley Stadium, no doubt about it. 81,000 paying fans, apparently, Jargo. But apparently the real attendance was 91,000, but 81,000 paid. Do you believe?
That sounds about right.
Is it the biggest professional wrestling event in the history of pro wrestling? Or is TK blowing smoke up his own ass? Because look at the way he words things. It's the biggest paid, keyword paid, professional wrestling event in the history of pro wrestling.
Two things can be true at the same time, right? Like, what do you consider to be the biggest event in the history of professional wrestling?
Well, the real one, to be honest, and it's not the biggest in terms of eyeballs, right? But biggest in the
Collision in Korea?
That's what it is, right?
But nobody outside of that audience saw a Collision in Korea. So
true,
is it really the biggest pro wrestling event in history? Like, to me, it's still WrestleMania 3. Hogan versus Andre is the biggest event in pro wrestling history.
What about WrestleMania? What was it? The one in Texas, not the last one, the one before that.
What
at
about
Texas
it?
Stadium, at Cowboy Stadium.
What do you remember from that show? What did that show do for the professional wrestling business?
The Wyatt family and The Rock, remember?
There you go.
And it went 7 hours.
Yeah, that unfortunately crazy, I do remember.
That was crazy, man. That's what really like sort of comes out of my mind. Other than that, nothing else. I don't remember anything else. Actually,
Right. So is that really the biggest pro wrestling event of all time? Like, to me, it's still WrestleMania 3. I mean,
in terms of attendance, apparently that one was.
I mean, to me, like, All In is more comparable with when they ran the Pontiac Silverdome.
Yeah.
Right. Like, it's the spectacle of it. That's what makes it special.
Absolutely.
And I mean, like, this show was basically like a really good episode of AEW Dynamite, a really long but good episode of AEW Dynamite. Like, there's nothing on this show. Like, even coming out of the show, there's 2 talking points, right? Talking point number 1 is the stupid CM Punk and Jungle Boy crap. And talking point number 2 is the attendance. Like, nobody is talking about who is the AEW champion. Nobody is looking forward to what's going to happen Wednesday on Dynamite. Oh, yeah, we've got one of our marquee events next week in Chicago, and we have like 4 matches announced for it. None of them are like important championship matches. So, like, what is the significance of this other than they ran Wembley Stadium and put 81,000 paying fans in there? Good for you. I'm happy for you. But you sold most of those tickets before you even announced a match. Like, there was nobody on this card that was a drawing card. There's nobody that put those butts in seats. It was just the spectacle of the event itself.
Oh, no doubt. But you know what? I got breaking news, because I'm glad you brought up Punk, and I knew this before we went on the air, but I was going to bring it up anyway. But Punk and Jungle Boy have both been suspended under investigation.
What did he do? Are we even sure this is not a work? Because I am not sure that this is not a work.
Is AEW, at this point. See, the thing is AEW that smart to be doing this type of shit? And B, this is not how you make money, though, dude. You don't do it, amongst the dirt sheets or for the people that are in the know. You don't get no eyeballs by doing this, except for the marks.
Yeah. That's all AEW does, is they only market to themselves. Like, they market to the people inside of their bubble. They don't market to the casual fan. They don't care if, you're going through the channels and you're like, oh, what is this? Let me tune into this. No, they don't care about that. They just cater to the people that are already watching the shows. And for All Out, that probably makes sense, because you're not going to pull in casual fans. I am predicting All Out is going to be the weakest buy rate that AEW has ever put on for a pay-per-view.
You know what? I can see that, dude. I can see that, especially if Punk and who cares about Jungle Boy, right? Let's be honest.
I'm with you, Chris.
Is that Chris in the chat? Is that our very own? Oh, Chris
Holland. Yeah.
This is such a work, he says.
I'm with him. At this point, I feel like it's a work.
Oh, man. I don't know, man. That's the problem. I just don't know. But why? But what's the end game, though, Jargo?
CM Punk versus Jack Perry for the real World's Championship.
But why? I don't want to see that.
What do you want to see?
Well, definitely not him and Jungle Jack Perry.
But you have a 1 week build to All Out. What's the CM Punk match in Chicago at All Out?
By rights, it should be MJF.
Yeah, but they're not doing that. Obviously, they're not doing that.
Just like when MJF was there the same night on Collision when when CM Punk portrayed himself the real world champion.
I'm okay with that. I'm actually okay with that, because I can see it in MJF's mind. MJF has not addressed this once.
Right.
You know why? Because it's not worth addressing.
Right.
It's not worth addressing. He's not going to punch down at CM Punk. And then eventually, Babyface Max is going to get sick of this. And then, you build to it. But it's not time to do Punk versus MJF yet. Especially not with this Adam Cole thing still going. Like, we thought that we were going to at least get like the build to All Out and do MJF versus Cole in Chicago again, right? But they kept them together. So I don't even know what direction they're going. And there's a pay-per-view next week. Lowest buy rate in AEW history. I'm telling you.
You know what? I'm going to go with you on that one, dude. Because AEW in the last, say, 8 weeks, honestly, other than Collision, right? Collision is the only saving grace of that company.
And it's crap. It's crap. Here's the problem with Collision. What of consequence happens on Collision? Like, it's great that you're having these squash matches and that you're getting people wins, but like, there's maybe one match of any circumstance on Collision at all. Everything else is just jobbers versus stars. It's quickly turning into WCW Saturday Night.
I said Thunder well, funny enough, the intros for that show, for the PWC version of our Collision review show,
I love the format.
I use
I
Thunder's
love the
fucking
format.
theme. Yeah, because it reminds you of WCW Nitro, right? But it's not quite Nitro. That's the problem.
I love the format. I love the video packages. I love all the promos and whatnot. I don't think the booking of Collision has been very good.
Why? Because a lot of people think the booking of Collision's been brilliant.
Here,
that's why I'm glad you brought this up. Well, what are you coming up with, Jargo?
Okay, let's take a look here. Orange Cassidy and Penta El Zero Miedo and Eddie Kingston versus the Butcher, the Blade, and Kip Sabian. Who's going to win that match? You don't even have to think about it. Dark Order versus Darius Martin and Action Andretti. Who's going to win that match? You don't even have to think about it. Big Bill with Ricky Starks versus Very Morales. Boy, I wonder how that one's going to go. Willow Nightingale versus Robin Renegade. I wonder who's going to win that match.
The Renegade sisters are good though, dude.
They are, but they haven't been featured on Collision, and nobody knows who they are. And Willow is one of their larger stars. Let's go into hour 2. Limitless Keith Lee versus Zicky Dice. Hook, Darby Allin, Sting, and CM Punk versus Jay White, Luchasaurus, Swerve Strickland, and Brian Cage. Like, there's your one match of consequence, and it was the main event. Everything else was nothing but jobber matches.
I agree. I didn't think Collision this past week was that great. Chris liked it. I didn't, man, compared to him. It got better in the second half, but still, it was a clusterfuck. Especially
Jay
that
White
main
and
event.
Dalton Castle, Iron Savages and Jack Jameson versus Bullet Club Gold, Big Bill versus Darren Neal, Willow Nightingale versus Diamante, Powerhouse Hobbs versus Kevin Koo, Darby Allin versus Christian Cage. There's your one match of consequence. This is become the formula for Collision. It's not a good show. It's not a well booked show. I like the format of the show, but I think the booking of the show is crap.
Shots fired right there, man. Because you know what? And what's up, Liz? Liz is in the house. Thank you for joining us once again. And look who else is here. It is Chabela Vera Cruz.
Professor.
The professor, right. Collision has a problem long-term with only 15 people regularly that tolerate Punk. Yeah, there's that too if it's not a work, as we were saying just before.
Yep.
But
Yep.
I don't know who this is, but hey, what's up, Facebook user? What's up, boys? What's up? I don't know who it is, but yeah, I'm glad.
It's got to be Big Ray Hernandez.
No, usually his name comes up though. For whatever reason, it's not coming up, but we'll see who it is. But anyway, yeah, no, look, you know what? I'll clap you to that because the last 2-3 episodes I thought have been the worst of Collision. You know what I mean? And I won't lie, the first...
And it's only going to get worse. College football starts like next week. Big Ten Saturday night on NBC. Right. I mean, they're already at 450,000 and it's about to take a dive.
That's what I'm saying. Like, is Punk really a draw or is it because they're on Saturday nights?
No.
Exactly. That's what I've been asking every week for the last 3 weeks now, dude.
No, he was a draw.
He is.
He came back what was that? 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Was it 2 years ago now when he first came back?
About that. Right.
Yep. Now he's just another guy.
But you can also argue, technically, he is the number one merch guy.
Yeah, there is that. I'll give him that.
So, I don't know if it's... I agree with you. I don't know if he's as much of a draw as people think he is because, let's be honest, man. He's just... His personality, his real-life personality is sort of alienating his own fan base, I feel, anyway.
Well, and I mean, even in the ring, right? Like, CM Punk has clearly lost a step from Money in the Bank 2011. 100%. Clearly.
Yeah.
He didn't have a step to lose. With this new roster and this new group of talent that we have out there, do you think on any plane of existence that CM Punk could keep up with Will Ospreay? Do you think that CM Punk could keep up with Kenny Omega in between the ropes?
Oh,
Takeshita? No. I mean, any of these guys.
No chance, bro. No way.
And it's just he lost that one step, and he didn't have one step to lose. Right. Not in this talent pool.
It's crazy because when you think about it, Kenny's 40 this year, dude.
Mm-hmm.
But he can still go, man. And Punk, what is he, 44? And he's just... But that's what happens 7 years out of the game. I mean,
absolutely.
It's going to happen to you, man. It's going to happen.
Absolutely. And that's not even a rip on Punk. He looks good.
No, absolutely. No,
but he's lost a step.
It is what it is, man. No, 100%. Steve's in the house. Hey, boys. What up, Steve? Thanks for tuning in. Oh, yeah, man. I mean, that's the real deal. What you're saying is... That's what it is. It's facts, man. And a lot of people either won't like that, and, are in denial, or they won't.
I love CM Punk. I love CM Punk, but no, this run has not been great. It's kind of like the Punk versus Joe match on this show, right? It's 3.5 stars.
I hated that,
but it was a 3.5 star match.
But was
for a real world championship match in 2023 in front of 81,000 people in Wembley Stadium? I need better than a 3.5 star match.
Especially it's Punk and Samoa Joe. And Joe, even though he's put on weight, he's
still
chubby,
Joe.
But he can still go, right? Still Joe. Exactly. And actually, let's get into All In. Well, it's not proper, but it's actually the pre-show. And it is Aussie Open in Kyle Fletcher and the Dunkzilla, Mark Davis, your champions of Ring of Honor. And it is a Ring of Honor championship match, by the way. Versus Better Than You, Bay in Adam Cole, Maxwell, Jacob Freeman, MJF. And now you could have gone a lot of ways in this match, Jargo, right? But I guess they went the way of Better Than You, Bay, becoming your new Ring of Honor Tag Team champions. And I wouldn't have gone this way, but I guess this is what TK wants, TK gets. And
well, you mean the guy? You mean the Aussie guy was going for Aussie Open in this match? I just don't believe that, Jimmy. I don't believe it at all.
No. Look, dude, I get a lot of heat for even liking Aussie Open. And all right, and let's be honest, Mark Davis looks a bit weird. I mean, he's got weird hips. Let's be honest. Like it's almost like he's got a whole lot of estrogen going on. But I don't know, man. I'm not judging. He's got a deep voice, so I guess there's something there. And Cole Fletcher, he's the total opposite. Tall, skinny, lanky dude with a high-pitched voice.
Mm-hmm.
But as a team, though, as a tag team, I think they're pretty good. And they're very well known in the UK, as a matter of fact. I don't know if you heard, but there was a lot of Aussie Open chants going on in that match.
Of course. The problem is the AEW audience doesn't know who Aussie Open is.
That's true.
Like they've been on a couple of times. They're typically presented as stooges, or they're getting beat up by guys that are at the top of the AEW card. So there's no way the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions are going to beat the AEW World Heavyweight Champion and the challenger for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship on the pre-show, unless there was some kind of a swerve. If we got the breakup, MJF and Adam Cole here, then yeah, you could see Aussie Open retaining. But the way that this played out, like this was everything I've hated about the Adam Cole and MJF thing. My problem is half of this has been comedy and half of it's been really, really good.
Right.
So do you want me to take this seriously or not? And this was the part that I'm not supposed to take seriously. Like the kangaroo kick and all this crap. Like, it's fine. It's funny. It's good. But it's not what I want from my AEW World Heavyweight Champion. What I want is MJF standing in the ring with the belt held above his head saying, this is more important to me than anything because this is what I've sacrificed in order to get it. That's the part of this feud that I've really, really liked, not the kangaroo kick. And doing them simultaneously at the same time, the whole thing is kind of fallen flat for me. I don't feel like people have invested into this program the way that they should have. And instead of trying to redirect, Tony Khan was like, oh, well, people like this. Let's just keep on going with it. And I feel like it's about ready to jump the shark if it hasn't already.
Well, that's exactly what happened. TK definitely wasn't planning for this to go as long as it has. Let's be honest. There's no chance he was expecting this. He would have seen how people were digging it at first. The merch, they're selling a lot of merch also. And he's like, oh, fuck it. Let's run with it. But you're right. I loved it at first. And yeah, there was too much haha in many ways. But the last 2 weeks, for this build towards All In, have been just rinse and repeat, man, from 3 weeks ago. Literally, rinse and repeat, same shit. Nothing different. It's just the same shit. And then we got All In. And now, they become your new AEW, Ring of Honor, whatever, if you want to mix the two or not. Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions. And does this mean we're going to see them on Honor Club now? Or they're just going to do what AEW does and just have Ring of Honor on AEW television for no real reason?
Like, who is watching Ring of Honor? I guess that's my number one question. Who is watching Ring of Honor?
Dude, funny enough, me and Jeff were meant to do a review show for Channel Attitude for Ring of Honor, right? I kid you not, we watched 2 weeks together at the same time, right? I'll stream it on StreamYard for just me and him to watch it, and then we'll do the review. I kid you not, after 2 weeks, we're like, fuck this, we're not doing it, man.
It's your D show.
But
it's not the B show. It's not even the C show. It's the D show, and they put it behind a paywall. Who's watching that?
They don't even tell you the numbers. You notice that?
And there's a lot of talent inside of Ring of Honor that I really, really like. Like why Shane Taylor is not all over AEW Collision, I do not understand. Give me Shane Taylor versus CM Punk. Like sign me up. That's a program I can invest in. But instead, they have him in Ring of Honor, and it doesn't make any kind of logical sense to me. But there's entirely too much Ring of Honor on AEW TV. If it's going to be
too much, bro.
If it's going to be a secondary brand,
way too much. And the thing is, they're all for nothing. Like when you were going over those Collision cards from the last 2 weeks, there was a lot of Ring of Honor versus AEW guys, right? And why? No reason.
Right.
There's no implications for anything. It doesn't do anything for anyone. It doesn't make anyone look stronger or weaker. It just does nothing.
Did this do anything for Aussie Open?
No. Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
For me,
if anything, it hurt them.
Right. Absolutely did, man. It did. What? They were your champs for what? 2 weeks? If that?
I have no idea. I don't watch Ring of Honor.
Neither do I, but I'm pretty sure it's been 2 weeks. Something like that. But it's stupid. It's dumb. This shouldn't even... You don't book your champion on a pre-show first anyway, or your main event for that matter. But
I mean, I tell you what I was hoping was going to happen. I was hoping that FTR was not going to make the trip to Wembley. I was hoping that Adam Cole and MJF would win the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. I was hoping that the Young Bucks would then come out and challenge Adam Cole and MJF for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships because FTR wouldn't be there for them to put on the AEW Tag Team Championships. And then we could have had a reunion of the Super Click, and you could have had the Young Bucks and Adam Cole beat down MJF, solidifying him as the babyface of the brand and Adam Cole as the heel of the brand, and then leading into the match later on. Like, that actually would have been a storyline that you could have invested in, that you would have remembered and been like, damn, wasn't that a good show? From the pre-show to the main event, there was one storyline running throughout the entire show. But no, the American court system decided that they were going to let Cash Wheeler fly overseas. I don't understand it either, ladies and gentlemen. I don't understand it either.
Well, TK must have some friends in high places, clearly. I mean,
or some high friends in low places.
Literally. I'll give you that. That's a real good one. Just like when you no, don't worry, that was someone else that did that, but a similar situation. But anyway, yeah, that's just AEW for you, man. It is what it is. That's TK. But yeah. Oh, did I mention, was that match before? No, that was after the Jungle Boy Hook match.
No, that was the first match. It was the first match.
Oh, it was, right? And then there was the Hook. Because for a minute I'm thinking, wait, did I miss something? But yeah, let's move on, because it is Hook versus Jack Perry for your FTW Championship. A championship that's not even part of AEW, supposedly. But hey,
well, it's not a part of anything. It wasn't even a part of ECW.
I know, that's true. But at least with Taz, it had more meaning because he told you what it meant and why he had it. This is no real reason. It's just there.
Okay, you bring up one of my problems with this entire concept. Taz told us what the FTW Championship was and what it meant.
Right.
That was 30 years ago?
True.
Maybe they should tell us now.
But it's
Why?
AEW. They expect you to know this already.
Yeah. No, I do not see that happening, Chris.
Well, what did Chris say in the chat? Let's see. Chris Miller says in the chat, I got a question for Jargo. Do you ever see New Japan dropping AEW partnership to save face?
No.
Would New Japan and WWE ever work out a real Forbidden Door likely post Vince? First of all, why do they need to save face? Yeah. They don't need
if anything, I don't know how much New Japan you've been watching lately, but it's rough. New Japan is not in a good place right now.
I know that, believe me. I know that. Even the fact that Tetsuya Naito won the G1 is a bit weird.
I blame Billy Ray Valentine.
Shout out to Billy Ray Valentine. Actually, did the Forbidden Door review.
This is all Billy Ray Valentine's great concoction for putting the title on Sonata. So I completely blame Billy Ray Valentine for everything that's going on in New Japan right now. That's why we have evil main events, and that's why we have Sonata running around with the New Japan Pro Wrestling Divas Championship.
Damn it! You should. Oh man, I wish I knew you were going to say that because I would have done one of these. Oh, and it came out bad.
I mean, does it not look like the Divas Championship? It looks like the butterfly title. It's terrible. Oh, it's god awful.
Dude, I hate it. I hate it with a passion.
I'm only hoping that Tetsuya Naito wins that championship at Wrestle Kingdom just so he can destroy the belt. I just want him to destroy the belt like he did at the Intercontinental Championship all those years ago.
But with the IC belt, it made sense why he did that, though. Why would he?
Well, yeah, but this wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for Naito. Naito's the one that unified those titles, remember?
True. That's true. You're right. Yeah. I mean, look, I love Tetsuya Naito, man. He's one of my favorites, but he's not the guy to win it. But I'd rather him get the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship straight off Sonata because, let's be honest, he looks great, has always had no personality, and that's a big problem. I don't care how good you look. He's just bland.
Yep. But he's the great Sonata. Shout out to Billy Ray Valentine.
Shout out to Billy Ray Valentine. And check out the show, actually, for anyone listening, if you haven't already, the Forbidden Door review with me and Billy Ray Valentine.
But you know what is less interesting than Sonata?
What's that?
Jack Perry and the FTW Championship.
Yeah. And I don't even want to go over this match, but basically it became sort of a hardcore match, and it ended on top of the car with real glass. Crimea River, apparently, Jargo. Now, apparently that was a dig to Punk. I didn't know that at first until I got the context earlier today, and I'm like, oh. Apparently they had a talk and told him, don't use real glass, trying to look out for him, but instead, everyone seems to be disrespecting the vets, and especially Punk, dude. I mean, no one's listening to the guy unless you're on Collision Saturday nights.
And even evidently they're not listening to him either. How pissed off do you think CM Punk was about this? Because I know I would be pissed off about this. You're opening the pay-per-view against Samoa Joe for the Real World's Championship, and Hook and Jungle Boy go out and do this shit in the main event of the pre-show?
Yeah, that's like, what you call taking someone else's heat, man. Like,
yeah, it was just stupid. I understand why Punk was pissed off about it. Evidently, from what I have heard anyway, Jack Perry got in Punk's face. Right. That's what I have heard.
And then Punk choked him out.
Good.
That's the
like I don't even blame Punk for this one.
Yeah, but see, you can point that out, right? That's true, but it's hard. I mean, can you blame him for anything since he's been back? You know, apparently sending away.
Oh, absolutely. There's plenty of things to rail on CM Punk about. This isn't one of them. It's just not.
Does he need to grow the fuck up in a way, though?
Well, he needed to grow the fuck up 25 years ago.
But we're talking about
the problem with CM Punk is CM Punk doesn't let anything go. If you wronged CM Punk in any way 15 years ago, CM Punk is still pissed off about it.
Yeah, man.
Right? Like, that's the problem with Punk, and everybody knows that about Punk. I feel like this was, if anybody in this situation to me needs to grow the fuck up, it was Jungle Boy.
Well, yeah. In this case, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But you can't have that sort of power where you're sending people like Christopher Daniels, excuse me, who's your talent relations guy. I mean, what does that tell the rest of the roster? You know what I mean?
What is there to tell him? What was Daniels doing there to begin with?
I have no idea, but he's a talent relations guy, so he could do whatever the fuck he wants, not get sent home.
Yeah, talent relations is something that you do through the course of the week. You don't do it at the show.
Fair enough.
I feel like we're piling on Punk because Punk is easy to pile on, right? And a lot of this stuff, I don't necessarily put at all on Punk.
All right, no, that's fair enough.
But everybody's after him now. Like if that dude jaywalks in Chicago, like somebody is going to get a freaking camera angle of it, and it's going to be god awful. You know, it's like Hunter Biden doing a hooker in the the library. Like nobody cares, but since there's all this heat on him, now everybody cares.
Yeah, it's weird. The spotlight's definitely on him. Chris Willen says, here's one more. Who do you see taking more of a dominant role in the UK? That'll be pushing Cena out there for a WrestleMania plug. Was not by mistake. Europe is where an AEW WWE feud can really heat up. Your thoughts? Jargo?
To be determined.
Yeah,
I feel like it's a great question, but I don't feel like we have enough anecdotal evidence to form a good opinion at this point.
Yeah,
it's up in the air. It could go either way.
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret. Apparently, Dynamite and Rampage is rating better in the UK than Raw and SmackDown, supposedly. So,
but if you want to keep that momentum going, you need to put out a better show than what this was.
Yeah, but see, that's what I don't understand. Dude, actually, before we go to the show proper, do you not see what's going on in the IWC, dude? Especially on Twitter, your AEW marktards that are in denial, bro. I'm glad you don't.
You know why I don't? Because I got off of social media. And I recommend that everybody get off of social media. And you don't even necessarily have to get off of social media. Just turn off all notifications on your phone that go to social media. So you are in control of when you want to see it and when you don't. And quit paying attention to the behind the scenes crap. You'll enjoy the on-screen product a whole lot more.
That's true too. But see, that's the thing. When I watch it, the behind-the-scenes stuff and all that, I've learned to separate it anyway, man. I'm not going to judge it by what's going on in the back. I've been into that type of shit since I was pretty young.
Yep.
Calling up the hotlines, dude. Man, the phone bills I used to rake up. I'm telling you, bro. It was bad. But anyway, let's get into the All In proper. And it is opening up with CM Punk and Samoa Joe for your real AEW World Championship. Punk, your champion. Now, I was hyped for this match. I was kind of surprised that it started off the pay-per-view in many ways, but maybe it was done for a reason. But like you said before, it's like, like when you go to a concert, right, and you got the fucking, not the headliners, the guys, they come in before the headliners. The people that are doing whatever they're doing before the headliners aren't supposed to do the best concert, man. Like, do you know what I mean? You're not supposed to take away all the attention from the main headliner, right? It's all about building up the main headliner. And now, unfortunately for Punk and Joe, which gives it more context, actually, because I never thought about it like that until you brought it up. And I'm like, you know what? Shit. Ding dong. You're right. And I would have been really pissed now that when you put it in that context, the fact that they did what they did, and then these guys had to come out and top that shit, which they wouldn't because they're not going to have a hardcore match like that. It'd make you even more pissed off, even though the match between Punk and Joe was much better, obviously, than what's his name, Jungle Jack Perry and Taz's son in Hook. But still, you don't do all that shit on a match right before the main card, man.
Well, you go from two guys that are up and coming and hope to become mainstays in this business to two guys that are absolute legends in this business and understand pace. Yeah. Like, this was not a flashy match. Like, everything that people put over Cody Rhodes for when it comes to the pacing of his matches and how different a Cody match feels versus everything else on the card, this is very much the same sort of thing, right? Like, Joe and Punk, no, they can't go out there and have a 5-star match, but we can go out there and we can have the most dramatic match. And we can do that through planned pauses. We can do that through planned spots. We can do that through getting a little bit of color. We'll throw some callbacks. Like, when's the last time you saw a Pepsi plunge, let alone off of the second rope, right? Like, it's been a while. Punk doesn't just bust that out for any Tom, Dick, or Harry, right? I thought it was good. It wasn't great, but it was good. But if you do this, if it's not going to be the main event, then you want it to be the curtain jerker because you want that pop, right? Like, people were invested in this show right off of the bat. And then you complement that by going to the 6-man afterwards. I absolutely thought it was a wise choice for this to open the show. I thought it was good. I just didn't think it was great.
Well, it was pretty much, Chop City, pretty much most of the match. It was more of a striking match than anything else. And,
but with these two guys at that point in their career, did you expect anything different?
No, not at all. And like you said,
I mean, even 25 years ago, these two guys in the ring together, it was going to be a chop fest.
Yeah, but they were a lot more quicker. And, and like you said before.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Joe can still go. You know what I mean? It's Punk that worries me. Like, Joe really was carrying this match, and it felt like Punk was kind of trying to keep up, if that makes any sense.
How long before we turn CM Punk heel?
It's got to be now, man. Like, I don't understand why he's not a total heel. I mean,
at this point, it feels like he's really trying to be Hollywood Hogan. Yeah. I mean, not just the spray paint on the title, but yeah, it really feels like he's trying to be Hollywood Hogan. How long 100%. Until we turn CM Punk heel? And I think the interesting part of that is, well, if you turn CM Punk heel, then who's the babyface that he's against? Who do you want to see beat CM Punk for that title? And unfortunately, on Collision right now, there's nobody.
Who's the top babyface on Collision right now, when you think about
CM Punk.
Is he, though?
Is that not how he's cast? Whether he is or not, is that not how he's cast?
Every second week, yeah, I'd say.
I mean,
that's what it feels like.
I don't know who else you would even put against CM Punk at this point.
Oh, well, other than Punk,
as a babyface.
Yeah, as a babyface right now. Well, people want to see Kenny versus Punk, obviously.
Of course. Of course, that's a money match, so Tony Khan won't do it.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't think Kenny and Punk have as much problems as you think, though. They both follow each other on Twitter,
Oh yeah, that doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me. I mean, I feel like the honest answer at this point is MJF.
Yeah, I mean, he's a.
If you do babyface Max versus a heel Punk, I feel like that's the best answer right now.
But you know what's weird, dude? Did you watch the post media scrum? AEW post media scrum. If you watch that, dude, it starts off with MJF, and he's total healing it up, dude. He was.
Well, he is our scumbag,
and he says
he's
that.
Our scumbag.
He dropped more F-bombs than ever before, and I felt like it was a game to see how many F-bombs he could actually drop.
Nice.
To the point where even TK was dropping F-bombs.
Tremendous.
It was fucking weird. So that's what confuses me. I don't know why he went all heel on the presser, even to the point where he was sort of giving shit to Adam Cole, but then, they're still friends. And I don't know. You got to see it, man. But it just confuses me because I feel like this company can so alienate their fan base.
Well, here's my question.
Right.
When it comes to these media scrums, number one, they're a terrible idea. Tony Khan, quit doing them. But number two, do you consider the media scrum to be canon?
That's a tough question, dude, because
they never reference it.
Right.
They never reference any of the media scrum stuff on television. So is the media scrum supposed to be part of the show or not?
I don't know anymore, bro, because sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. Like,
well, when has it been? When have they actually paid lip service to something that happened in a media scrum on Dynamite, Rampage, or Collision?
Never. I don't think. No. Again,
then I don't consider it part of the canon, and that's why I don't watch them.
See, that's why we've missed you, Jargo, because you are great at coming up with the things that we all haven't actually looked into, and that's pretty deep, dude, to think about it like that, because none of us have thought about it that way, and you just brought it up, and you're right. Actually, there isn't anybody. They've never done it. They've
never paid any lip service to it. So
Wow.
I don't pay attention to it. It's not part of the show.
Good point. No, that's a great point, man. And Elizabeth, he brings up an interesting point. She says, and there was the calling whoever Boobs McGee. Yeah, he was calling a chick in the media scrum, Boobs McGee.
Twitter Keenan is not a thing.
Twitter cat. Shout out
Twitter
to Mahal.
Twitter Keenan. And it's X counting in Jinda. It's X Keenan.
Oh, that's too good. Well, anyway, Punk does get the win over Joe in a match that this pissed me off because it was Joe all the way, and then we had Punk do what was that? A pedigree off the top freaking turnbuckle? That's what it looked like.
What's that now?
Did he finish him with a pedigree, dude? That's what it looked
like.
No,
it was a Pepsi plunge.
Oh, it looked like, man, the way on. The thing is,
it was the Pepsi plunge. But unless you've been following CM Punk for 25 years, you probably haven't seen CM Punk do that move.
I have because done that, and I know the Pepsi plunge, absolutely, dude. But the way it looked like a friggin' no shit, man. The way I don't know if it was the camera angle's fault, right?
There was a lot of that on this show that AEW needs to get cleaned up really badly.
They don't care though, dude, because they don't know how to capture shit. Like they'll cut away from like a main thing that's about to happen in the ring, dude. Like they do that. And
their director needs to be fired after this show.
Anyway, fuck. I don't know, man. It came off to me like a friggin'... It came off a little weird. But yeah, Punk pretty much just gets his one move in, wins the match to retain his so-called real World's Championship.
So what's Punk doing next week?
He's suspended,
what is the Chicago match?
He's not going to be on the card apparently now. He's taking.
You really think that they are going to run a pay-per-view in Chicago and CM Punk, the real world champion, is not going to be on that show?
I don't know. I mean, if this is an angle, this is fucking stupid, bro.
Well, I mean, I feel that way about most AEW angles, but you know.
And you got me thinking, but if he's not on the card, what does that tell you though?
It tells me that Tony Khan is an absolute moron. I mean, we have talked many times about killing the town, right?
Right.
If you run Chicago while CM Punk is running around calling himself the real world champion, and CM Punk is not on the pay-per-view in Chicago, you have killed the town. That will kill the town.
He came out and said that's what the reports are saying, that he's not going to be on All Out. So. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to think, man. Like I said, if this is a build for friggin' Jungle Jack Perry and CM Punk for All Out, yuck.
Well, I mean, what else do you do?
Yeah, but do you have a competitive match or does Punk squash him? That's the problem. And if he does squash him, what does that do for Jungle Jack Perry?
I give him 15 minutes. I'd give him 15 minutes.
That's okay. That's pretty... Like, that's a lot. That's actually a lot of time, man. That's your average
match. I mean, for comparison's sake, Punk and Joe went 14 minutes. I would give them somewhere between 10 to 15 minutes. I wouldn't have it be an absolute squash, but I also don't want Punk as the babyface selling for, 10 minutes against Jungle Boy Jack Perry.
That's how his matches have been lately, though, dude.
What if you do...
Selling.
What if they do a lights out match? Both guys are suspended. It's not sanctioned by AEW.
Right.
It's a hardcore match, right? So you got weapons. You can go all over the arena. Like, yeah, that's what I'm leaning towards. I'm leaning towards the main event of All Out being Jungle Boy Jack Perry versus CM Punk in a lights out match. That's what I'm going with.
Well, Alex Slavinsky says in the chat, if CM Punk is suspended, All In Chicago would be a riot. It'd be interesting. That's for sure.
It would be a riot in two different contexts. Number one, it would be a riot in the context of Chicago. And number two, it would be fucking hilarious to watch it happen.
I'd love to see
it. It would be a riot.
Can you imagine? Shit. I mean, shit has happened before.
I can.
Well,
I mean, there's a riot in Chicago every other weekend. I mean, we could just blame CM Punk for this one.
Literally, we can actually blame him. Yeah, now that'll be interesting for sure. But if it's a work, I think a lot of people will literally roll their eyes, man.
I don't know. I mean, if it's a work, which I hope it's a work, this is the most invested the AEW audience has been in one of their storylines in months.
Interesting, man. Interesting. But you know what? Now the more I think about it, they've only got a week for All Out, right?
Mm-hmm.
How else do you build to something other than playing the dirt sheets right now, right? So it makes total sense in that stance for that to happen. But at the same time, though, I do think every time we come up with shit like this and we think, yeah, it's got to be going this way, they let you down, bro, every time. And then the dumbness comes out again. And you think, well, why do we think these guys are real smart when they're not?
We don't, but it's because we fall from the learning tree of Hameen. And so we try to make things make sense and we try to make the best out of a bad situation. And that's also why AEW needs to hire Ben Hameen as the EVP of WTF.
Yalla to that. Absolutely. Yeah, it's crazy, bro. And once again, happy birthday to the Ayatollah for last week.
Yalla.
But his birthday got cancelled. So
I mean, I'm trying to slowly become Ben Hameen. To be Ben Hameen for Halloween.
That'll be funny, no doubt about it. Heck, maybe I should dress up like an Arab too, to be Ben Hameen.
The Greek invented Arabs.
Yeah,
that's what Papa Don would tell you.
Don't say that. I grew up with Arabs, so yeah. Anyway, I wanted to point out also, post-match, Punk takes a moment to pose with someone holding a human rights poster. And yeah, I mean, do you think he does that too much, dude? Like where he's getting politics involved with wrestling?
Yep.
He's got to stop doing that shit, but whatever. It is what it is.
Yep.
Each to their own. But anyway, let's go to the next matchup, which is ironic because it is the Elite right after Punk. I wonder if they walked past, right? Anyway.
What was your highlight of this match, Jimmy? Because I can tell you right now what the highlight of it was for me.
Are you talking about what I'm about to talk about?
Yeah. Like the Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, Hangman, Adam Page versus Jay White, Juice Robinson, and Takeshita.
Look, it was a clusterfuck for me, right? But it was a good clusterfuck. And, I mean, what was the highlight? Nothing really, to be honest.
The highlight of this match
is Jay White for me.
Well, you were close. It was JR. JR was the highlight of this match. Why is everything golden? Fuck it. Pop me
that
huge.
Was good. That was good.
Pop me huge.
You're right.
Why is everything golden?
Because I laughed
fucking
at that
hilarious.
Too, man. And that's a little dig. That's a little dig at this bullshit. That's him pretty much saying fuck this shit, really. Let's be honest, right?
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. I loved it. The angry and bitter Jim Ross, who's the legal man, is the greatest thing ever.
Well, tag rules are right out the window, and this is what's annoying actually about this match. And like I said, it was a good clusterfuck for what it was.
Wait. Just so that we're clear, and maybe I'm wrong on this. I have always been under the impression that trios matches in AEW are under Lucha rules. Are you not under that impression? That's what I've always had that impression.
I know what you're saying. You're basically saying that because there's never hardly any tags, right?
Right.
But I mean, to me,
they because trios matches for anybody that does or does not watch the rules are very, very similar in a trios match in AAA versus the way AEW runs them. I've always been under the impression they were lucha rules.
I say triple like Master P. Make him say yeah, exactly. But nah. Fuck that. Well, if that's the case, Jargo, I've never been told that, man.
I've just maybe it's just me. I've always been under that impression that the trios matches are lucha rules. Okay, and yes, lucha rules is a real thing.
That is a real thing, and you don't need to tag anybody. But if that's the case, then tell us. Tell us that it's under lucha rules.
They don't tell us the rules for anything, man. I mean, in one match you can turn around and like kick somebody in the dick. In the next match you can body slam the referee. And the next match there's no tags. Like there is no AEW rule book.
They don't even count to 5, like when there's 2 like illegal men in the ring. Sometimes they do. Look, you know what's even more weird, dude? And again, you can alienate the fan base by doing this. On Dynamite, you don't have tag ropes, right? But on Collision, you do.
Right.
Which is bizarre to me. You know what I mean? How do you have one show? You can't have it both ways, bro.
Why you wouldn't want tag ropes it's just baffling to me.
And then you got
because number one, it adds to the drama when the baby faces are reaching for a tag. Right. Number 2, it can actually give heels heat while the baby face is stuck in the corner. Like, why you wouldn't want tag ropes, I've never understood. I've never got that.
But how can you have it on one show and not the other? It doesn't make sense, bro. Like, it literally puzzles me, man.
FTR works more on Collision, so there's tag ropes on Collision because they're the only legitimate tag team in AEW.
I'm confused, bro. Anyway,
yep.
Yeah. So yeah, like you were saying, this match, I guess, was Lucha Rules. Not that they told you that, but fuck it, why not? It pretty much is, and it is the Elite in Hangman Adam Page and the Golden Lovers versus the Bullet Club Gold in Switchblade Jay White, Rockhard Thompson, and Takeshita. And I mean, Kenny was doing Kenny things as per usual. Everyone was taking. Look, it was a spot fest, bro. Let's be honest.
This was a undercard New Japan match. How many times have we seen?
Yep.
How many times have we seen in New Japan where the big singles match is next week, so we're gonna put the guys in the trios match on the undercard so we can save the big singles match for next week.
Or during that's what they're doing as well.
Yeah, and they're doing that with Takeshita and Kenny. Everything else felt incredibly irrelevant throughout the entire match. Hangman Page is pretty much dead in the water. Jay White is still the best thing in AEW right now. Jay White, who like high-fiving the cutout of Jay White, is one of my favorite things in all of professional wrestling right now. And the thing I don't understand is when people are like, I don't get the whole Jay White thing. I don't understand. He's just annoying. Oh, I think the Bang Bang Gang is stupid. Yeah, that's because he's working you. You're supposed to think it's stupid. You're supposed to think that he's like, right. Like, just keep on watching. To me, Jay White should be the real world champion. And I feel like he's making a hell of a case. He has been absolutely spectacular since he got to AEW. And he's still somehow flying under the radar, which is just incredible to me.
Dude, me, you, and the vet have been, praising Jay White like no tomorrow.
For years.
For fucking years, man. But when you try to explain it to, our other co-hosts in Chris or Jeff and others, because they were never fans of his, and, I'll get all this shit by them saying, I don't get it, I don't see what you see in him, blah, blah. I'm telling you, trust me, trust the process. Once he's allowed to do Jay White, you know what I mean, and be Jay White and do Jay White things, you will love him. Chris is starting to like him now. He's starting to turn, and he can see why. At first, he's like, I still don't get it, what you guys see in him.
It's the pacing.
Now he's starting to get it.
That's what it is. It's his pacing.
He really knows how to work, right, man. It's true.
He knows when to turn it up. He knows when to slow it down, and he's the best counter wrestler I've ever seen.
He's, man, like I said, we've been saying it for years, and I know a lot of people almost roll their eyes every time. But once you see what and trust me, you'll see an even better version of him than what you currently see. Right now, it's your happy-go-lucky Jay White. But when he wants to be a monster heel, he can be a big-ass prick, man. And I love that when he's even like that. His promos are brilliant as well. And he hasn't really had a big, Jay White type of promo yet. It's just been very minimal, you know what I mean?
Well, the thing is, even for those of us that have been watching Jay for years, I'm guessing that you roll your eyes every time Jay White says the Bang Bang Gang. It is the stupidest. It is the cheesiest. And you're just like, oh my God, Jay, you're better than that. No, he's working even us. right?
Yeah.
Like the dude knows how to find his heat. Even when everybody absolutely is giving him his flowers, he still knows how to find heat. It's the same way Tyler Breeze became my favorite professional wrestler.
He was another one, a very underrated wrestler too, that
Yep.
people just don't get it unless you really start watching him. I mean,
Yep.
but Jay White, man, like, even, look, I'll say it now. At first with Juice Robinson, when he first turned into this version, when he joined Bullet
He's
Club,
just
I hated
insufferable.
it. But I think now in AEW with Jay White, for some reason, I'm starting to dig him, bro. He's become so fucking funny and obnoxious. Like, I'm kind of digging it, dude.
He is Billy Gunn 2023.
Yeah, you know what? Think about it, right? Billy Gunn used to scream out.
Billy Gunn
"Suck
in
it," in the middle,
DX.
right? True,
Yep.
for sure, definitely, I can see that. But turned up even more though,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
like by a mile, bro. Like by a mile. But yeah, and look, we're getting a lot of praise. I mean, Elizabeth says Jay White is the best thing in AEW, hands down. Absolutely. Alex says Switchblade was amazing in Impact. I didn't really watch his Impact shit because,
Neither did anybody else.
well, that's the problem. And yeah, the thing about Impact for me is their production. I can't handle bad production. It just takes me away from the show, so I just can't watch it for that reason, which is a shame, but it is what it is.
I don't do Impact.
Yeah, no,
Sorry.
fuck that. It's true.
Don't do it.
Only for when I do the Impact Attack, I'll watch it. But even then, I'm like, oh, you know. But yeah.
Even if I wanted to watch Impact, I don't think I could watch Impact. Like I don't get Access TV, so.
No, fuck that. Yeah, I don't even think I've got Access TV, and it's been taken off, like my cable provider for some reason. They don't even show Impact anymore. But
I'm still waiting I've been waiting for like 15 years for somebody to tell me how Impact Wrestling makes money, because I have no idea how they make any money.
You tell me, bro.
I don't get it.
I mean, I can't watch it consistently. I used to love TNA, man, initially. And then, you know, the Hogan Bischoff era kind of ruined that. And then I didn't mind the Bobby Lashley era and whatnot. But then once, what's her name? Oh my God, what's her name again? Dixie Carter.
Yeah.
Once she sold off Impact, that's when I just stopped watching it. Every time I tried, it was just, the production went backwards, and I just couldn't take it, man.
Yeah, it's just not good. Just not good.
Medium 5 says, it's really bad when someone like Jay White outshines most of AEW's roster due to doing the simple average basics of pro wrestling, ability and mentally speaking. Yeah, it's called Pro Wrestling 101, man. He gets the fundamentals, the simple shit. That's all you need to do. But a lot of these wrestlers just don't understand the fundamentals in pro wrestling, and it blows my mind, man. And I don't even want to listen.
Agreed.
Just weird. Anyway, we should move on though. But basically, in the end, Bullet Club Gold win via Takeshita. Was it Takeshita that got the pin? Yeah, from Takeshita on Kenny Omega, surprisingly, and I guess
with a roll up.
With a roll up, which is the most common finish nowadays in pro wrestling, bro. That's been happening a lot for whatever.
I mean,
reason.
clearly they're doing the rematch this weekend in Chicago, and I assume Kenny gets his win back. I assume.
I don't know anymore.
Or do you give the rub to Takeshita? Because Takeshita, I feel like, is really good right now. I feel like Takeshita.
I love him, bro. I think he's great.
He's been a huge highlight. Pairing him with Don Callis was really, really smart, because Callis just has so much heat.
It works, man. For whatever reason, it just works. And I know a lot of people call Callis poor man's Heyman, but you know what? He learned under Heyman, man. So he gets it, bro. Believe me.
And they're both dirty slime balls, but in very, very different ways.
Yeah, one's a Canadian slime ball.
That's true.
I mean, to be fair, right? I mean, but then again,
so that means he's a polite slime ball. Yeah, that kind of checks out.
Do you think he's polite? He can be a prick, though. On television, that is. I don't know how.
I feel like anybody who says a boot is a prick, regardless if they're a baby face or a heel.
Dude,
shout out to Chris Hams.
Yeah, shout out to AMBS, like bullshit in the morning. Chris Hams. Have you watched Super Troopers, bro?
Oh yeah, of course.
Have you watched part 2?
No.
Oh, bro, watch it, please. I watched it this past weekend, right? And it's about the Mounties versus the what was it again? Where were they from? What's on the border? Fucking with Canada, not New York and shit. Or Oh my god, I forgot. But anyway, it's basically the state, the Super Trooper guys against the Mounties, bro, and it's fucking funny as dude. The Canadians on that.
Buffalo.
Oh yeah, like oh my god, bro, you got to check it out. It is fucking funny. No, not Buffalo, not Niagara Falls, Vermont. I think it's Vermont actually. As a matter of fact, yeah, it was Vermont. As a matter of fact.
Wait. Are we talking about Doki? Are we talking shit about Doki in the chat room? I will not stand for talking shit about Doki. You'll get the Doki chokey.
I didn't say New York, Media M5, by the way. Where are you seeing
Wait,
that?
are we talking about Doki? Are we talking about the same Doki?
Impact is Dookie or Doki.
Don't make me do the Doki chokey.
Doki. He's a fucking idiot too, bro.
Doki is fantastic.
Ugh. Anyway, who the fuck was he, man? He just came out of nowhere.
Doki?
Yeah.
He's a Japanese guy who spent most of his career in Mexico. Like he's Doki. He's Doki.
There's a few. He's Doki. There's a few of those type of guys that spend most of their time in Mexico, man. As a matter of fact, from Japan.
Absolutely. Yep.
But anyway,
he went over there on excursion, never came back until like just a couple years back. Now they treat him like he's the Bushi of Five Guys.
Zane Vicious in the chat saying "Okie dokie." Yeah, you can say
Doki
that.
chokey.
Right?
Most feared move in all of professional wrestling, the Doki chokey.
Oh god. What about the chokey chicken? Is there a move like that? Yeah.
There are some things that we just don't talk about in public, and choking your chicken is one of them.
It's a good one, Jargo. Anyway, let's move on to the next matchup. It is FTR, your AEW World Tag Team Champions, versus the Young Bucks in Matt and Nick Jackson for the championships. Now, dude, I was thinking, damn it, I hope the Bucks don't win this. And now, I don't hate the Bucks as a lot of other people hate the Bucks. I get why people hate their guts. I totally get it. And let's be honest, they do much of the same shit. I mean, at this point, look, I hated them as Generation Me, but then I liked them when they left Impact and went to Ring of Honor. That's when I started digging them. But I can understand why people can't stand them right now. And look, hate them or love them, they're one of the best tag teams in the world. I mean, are they not?
Oh, no, they absolutely are. The best Young Bucks is New Japan Junior title Young Bucks.
By far.
That was some great stuff. I feel like are they turning the Bucks heel? Is that what was going on at the end of this match with them walking away from FTR when FTR offered the handshake? Because the Young Bucks should never be baby faces, as far as I'm concerned. Like, they are just especially annoying little shitheads, right? Like that is the characters of the Young Bucks. I like them better as heels. If that's the direction we're going, then fine. Even though they've been turned entirely too many times inside of an AEW context, I felt like this was the worst match of the three. Do you agree with that? Like, this was the third time these teams have squared off. I think this was my least favorite match of the three.
Yeah, actually, easily. By far. The first two were just epic compared to this one. Definitely. Something felt off in this match, dude. I don't know what it was.
It was the build. There wasn't any. Like,
what? Yeah.
Did you feel any heat coming into this match?
No, not really, other than the fact that these two have got history, right?
It was a babyface versus babyface matchup. Like, they both said each other's names like once going into the match. Like, it just, I don't feel like any of the talents inside of this match did themselves any favors.
Not just that, the fans were chanting something about Cash Wheeler and a gun. I read up on it. I didn't hear it, but it's funny when I was reading it and I saw clips of it. But that's kind of funny. Could have been that. I mean, he was going to get shit anyway, whether he liked it or not. So it is what it is. But
what they should have done is they should have played off of the CM Punk thing. Like, we know FTR is buddies with CM Punk. We know that the Young Bucks were involved in the skirmish with CM Punk. Like, you had this chance that you could have brought reality on camera and actually done something cool here. And instead they just did nothing. And they just thought, oh, it's Young Bucks versus FTR. Meh.
Well, the professor brings up a good point. He says in the chat, this was a year too late in terms of legacy. Exactly, because when they had your IWGP, when they were IWGP champions, Ring of Honor champions, the Triple A champions, right? And maybe I'm missing something else. There was probably one other one. Who knows? But anyway, the fact is they had every championship except for the AEW World Tag Team Championships because the Bucks didn't want to give them that satisfaction.
Right.
And that was the time where they should have pulled the trigger, obviously, but they didn't. The Bucks played a power card. And maybe they were upset that they had to lay down for FTR in this matchup. Maybe, legitimately, they weren't happy about it. I mean, there is tension between these four guys.
It just felt flat to me. It felt flat.
Yeah.
Like it was good, but I mean, you get these talents in the ring together, you know it's going to be good, right? They're two of the best tag teams, arguably, of all time at this point. You
And
know, so.
And wasn't
It's
one
just-
of those matches
man.
on Dynamite?
Yes, I think so.
And this was a pay-per-view. And
Yeah.
that should, I mean, there you go. That's how bad.
This is a great example of it doesn't matter how good the match is. If there's no story and there's no heat going into it, you're still stuck at, 4 stars.
Yeah, well, like the professor says again, he says All Out 2022, they were all tag champs and the match could have been the co-main event. It could have, should have, but it didn't happen. He brings up a great point, yeah. Well, anyway, FTR do retain via the Shatter Machine on Nick Jackson and retaining their World Tag Team Championships. But post-match, FTR offer handshakes, but the Bucks roll out of the ring and leave them hanging. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Maybe All Out, we do it all over again, but we'll see. Next up,
I
though,
hope
we've got
not. I really hope not.
and why? You know what I mean? This is going to be a real bad cut. Like you said, he's going to be the lowest fucking pay-per-view buy rate, I think, in AEW history, like you said earlier. Because how are they going to build this shit, bro?
If only they had like 5 hours of TV this week.
Well, that's true.
Right? I'll be right back.
Excuse me, yeah. I was almost choking as well. Well, yeah, funny enough, 5 hours of TV this week. And what are they going to do? They're going to build up to another tag team feud? Who knows? Who cares? We already just saw it. And again, I don't even understand why anyone would want to actually do a pay-per-view like All In right before All Out. It's just kind of weird for me, but that's AEW for you. But it is what it is. But while I'm waiting for Jargo, I'm just looking through the chat, and apparently, where is it? Chris Wheeland says, "Hey fellas, where is Miro's hot wife? What a waste of one of the best talents AEW has on their roster." Are you talking about Miro, obviously, and not his hot wife? His hot wife is actually coming down my neck of the woods to wrestle for World Series Wrestling, funny enough, on her own. So that's odd.
Oh God.
Yeah, Lana. She's
Yeah, because
gonna
we're all salivating for Lana's grand return to the ring.
I think for Miro, and I forgot to mention also earlier with Miro and Powerhouse Hobbs, what a waste of talent for both of those guys, man. And what a waste of time.
The match is going down next week. So, I mean, at least they did something to build a creative program between the two guys.
Right, for sure. I mean, but still, thank you, Alex. That means a lot, man. I appreciate that. Please share the word, man. That would be very much appreciated. But anyway, yeah, I just don't understand because Hobbs, they go in and out with QT Marshall and his crew, and apparently that's not even a thing anymore. Now he's all Latino and speaks Spanish very good, actually, which surprised me. But whatever, he's the Triple A Latin American champion.
Meh.
You love QT Marshall, right? But anyway.
No.
Well, you're going to love this matchup next, actually, Jargo, because it is Stadium Stampede between best friends in Chuck Taylor, Orange Cassidy, and Trent Beretta, Eddie Kingston and Penta El Zero Miedo versus the Blackpool Combat Club in Claudio Castagnoli, John Moxley, and Willie Yuta, and also Proud and Powerful in Ortiz and Santana. Or is it Santana really Bray Wyatt's brother? Or am I seeing things? Is it Bo Dallas?
Yes.
They look alike right now, but you know what? I'm not going to hate. I actually like Santana's look right now.
I just do not believe in the Proud and Powerful at this point. Like, they used to be one of the best tag teams in the world. Now go out and prove to me once again that you are, because I'm happy Santana's back, but let's hope it's better than the last run.
Well, dude, first of all, they got to change the names, man. Pride and Powerful just sounds like a bad porn, bro.
Agreed.
I'm not going to lie. That's one thing. And I don't know what's going on with Santana and Ortiz. They've patched things up officially. That's great. But I'm hearing there's still tension, but whatever.
Yeah.
Cares,
I mean,
right?
like, it's so weird because the AEW tag team division, like, it used to be like when you looked at it on paper and you were like, this is going to be awesome. And now it's just everything feels so played out. Characters feel so incredibly stale. I don't know. I like, there's no progression.
No, but that's what I mean. How do they get this shit so wrong? I don't understand. They don't know how to build the story arc.
Because
like, legit, they really don't, man.
Well, they don't know how, number one. And number two, they think that the good wrestling will make up for it. And that's just not the case. It
doesn't work that way, right?
Nope.
It's really, professional wrestling at its core is all about story, man. It's really driven by storylines, man, not fucking what happens in the ring. Sure, I love a great match, right? Everybody does, but look at Hulk Hogan. Look, I hate to point certain shit out. Hogan, you know, even The Rock wasn't the best in-ring competitor, but these guys understood psychology and awareness in the ring and when to do things and when not to do things and improvise. The current generation... John Cena fucking gets it.
5 moves of doom.
And he's got the worst worked punch in the history of pro wrestling, but he's
one of the best he does not. John Moxley proudly has the worst punch in the history of professional wrestling.
Absolutely, he's right up there, man. Top 2, top 3.
Just even. Awful.
Moxley, for someone that's friggin' blood and guts thirsty.
The kicks in the corner where, you know, he'd be missing people by 2 feet. You know,
oh my God.
Yeah, I don't understand how you can figure out how to do this skewer spot like every other week, but you can't figure out how to throw a good working punch.
I have no idea. That's why I'm confused with Moxley, dude. Is he having a nervous breakdown? Like, I don't get it, bro.
Well, you remember when John Moxley... Do you remember when John Moxley was going to go on vacation?
Yeah, and he didn't because of...
That was like a year and a half ago.
You and I spoke about that, as a matter of fact.
Like,
we did a show. I remember that, right?
It was a while ago, and something always happens where they got to keep Moxley around because they need the star power. Oh, so-and-so got hurt. We'll just put the belt back on Moxley. Oh, you know, like someone so got suspended. We'll just have Moxley fill in. Like, Moxley has been the workhorse of AEW, and Moxley needs refreshed, not only in character, but like that dude needs to like go sit on a beach somewhere for a while.
You know what's ironic about that? Dude, he still hasn't had that vacation since a year and a half ago, which is nuts.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's just, I think he's just fried out. You know what I mean? But it's like, oh, okay, well, we'll have Moxley go on vacation right after Forbidden Door. Oh crap. Danielson broke his arm. So if we want to keep Blackpool Combat Club as a thing, then we need Moxley to stick around. And it's just, it's always something where Moxley has to stick around. And he's the same John Moxley that we had 3 years ago, except now he's sober. That's it.
Yeah. And he worries me being sober, dude. I'm not going to
lie. Absolutely. The only good thing about John Moxley right now, as far as I'm concerned, is his relationship with Eddie Kingston. That's the only thing that I'm at all intrigued by. And it's more so Eddie Kingston railing on Renee. Like, that pops me. It pops me all the time. And eventually Moxley is just going to have to be like, you know what? Fuck you. And just let these two guys go. Right? I mean, and then Moxley can go on vacation.
Dude, there's too much sexual tension with guys in AEW, bro. Too much friendly shit.
It's professional wrestling, dude. It's dudes in their underwear on a mat wrestling around. And you're telling me that there's too much homosexual tension between those two guys?
You said it.
Like, welcome to the business, bro. It's been this way for 80 goddamn years.
Don't make me mention the cream team, bro. I'm just saying. Yeah. But AEW in particular, though, is doing weird shit. I don't know, bro. But yeah. But are they going to have a conclusion, these two? I doubt it.
I mean, I feel like the conclusion is they become tag team champions. Honestly, I say that tongue in cheek, but with AEW booking,
you're right. Oh, for sure, bro. For sure. As a matter of fact, it would be like a Benoit Eddie Guerrero moment.
Yep.
there'll be confetti everywhere. They'll be hugging. Heck, they might even kiss in the middle of the ring, bro.
And I'm always a big fan of tag teams that hate each other. Like it's just
love each other, bro. A bit too much.
But they love to hate each other.
Yeah, I think they disappoint each other in many ways.
Like instead of a tag, you just get a punch to the face. Like I think that could be a lot of fun.
But you know what really screws me about Kingston, dude? He talks like he's a killer. He's a rapist. I don't know if you saw his promo on Collision, dude. But he's raping motherfuckers, and he's going to gut motherfuckers like a fish.
Yeah.
All I saw was him getting cut like a fish. Just saying.
One of the things in pro wrestling that always bugs me is don't say that you're going to kill somebody, because everybody knows that you're not going to kill somebody.
Exactly, bro. And he says it more than once. He was a hitter last time, remember? But he hasn't hit no one. And you know what I'm talking about, hitter? I'm talking about like a hitter, literally with a gun.
That hasn't worked for anybody since like Bruiser Brody. Like it doesn't.
He was a killer, bro.
Yeah,
straight up.
And you believe that he was going to kill somebody,
for sure,
right?
Bro, for sure. I mean, look at Stan Hansen back in the day, the way he was in Japan, bro.
Absolutely,
like a wild man. But both of them were wild men, as a matter of fact. There'll never be guys like that ever again in pro. See, that's pro wrestling, bro. That's heat.
But now we get heat. Logan Paul.
Wow. You know what, though? Chris brought up a good point one time on the show. Imagine Jake Paul joins.
I don't believe it. I don't believe that Chris Hams brought up a good point. I just do not believe it.
He suggested this. Imagine the Paul brothers being a tag team in WWE. I think that would be mega heat. And they won the tag belt.
I think that is a show that I would not be watching.
Well, there you go. Well, anyway, back to Stadium Stampede. I'm not going to lie, Jargo. This match lost me, bro.
Yeah.
It was too long. It was just all over the place. And
22 minutes.
Yeah.
22 minutes.
And
I popped for Sue. I did pop for Sue.
But how ridiculous is that, dude? Though, when you really break it down, she came with freaking cookies, really.
And it was the best part of the match. I mean,
it was, but it's still silly.
But my other problem is, like, I don't know how to review a match like this, because there's so much weird backstage all over the parking lot, split screen, pre-tape, Penta Obscura, like there's so much weird shit that goes on inside of a match like this that I know I'm not going to enjoy it before it even happens. Like I feel like for the Stadium Stampede, I thought this was a good one. I just hate the Stadium Stampede. Like I hate everything about this.
Yeah, like I said, man, compared to the previous ones, this one, I don't know what it was. I couldn't get into it, dude.
I feel like this was the first one that we've done with fans, isn't it?
Yeah, it could be that. That could be the reason also. The fans took it away from it in a way. Yeah, weird.
I mean, it was just like, I feel like some things from the pandemic era were really, really good inside of the pandemic era, but let's leave them there. And I feel like Stadium Stampede is one of those things.
Yeah, I agree. And Zane Vicious says in the chat, remember those Terry Funk Cactus Jack matches? Comic relief. But at least it wasn't a clusterfuck like this. You know what I mean? That's the difference. Those ones were fun. This one here, first of all, the cameraman can't even keep up. The producers, whoever's the producer, just doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, dude.
Well, like I said, we need to fire the director. Whoever the director was for this show, he needs to be fired. Because he was awful throughout the entire show. He was awful. Terrible.
Liz says in the chat, I mean, at the end of the day, it felt like every other motherfucking Mox match. So, yeah, even skewers. Like, what the fuck, bro?
I hate the skewer spot. I absolutely hate it.
This motherfucker skewered himself a few times in the last 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And he continues to skewer himself, even in AEW. This guy's lost the plot, bro. Anyway, surprise, surprise, though. I went with the Blackpool Combat Club, but for whatever reason, best friends win the match. Who would have thought? And why? For nothing, because they're not going to build them up to do anything. They haven't won a significant match ever until now.
Well, what this builds up to is Jon Moxley taking the All Atlantic, International, South American, Antarctic, Canadian
You're right, it
championship
does.
away from Orange Cassidy next week.
As a matter of
That's
fact,
really what it was.
I'm glad you reminded me, because the match was already made essentially for this Wednesday. It is Penta El Zero Miedo versus Orange Cassidy for the International Championship. But get this, Jargo, the winner. I don't know how this works when you're the champion. You're supposed to be at advantage, not disadvantage, but whatever. He's AEW. The winner goes on to fight Moxley for the AEW International Championship. So it's not Moxley versus Penta for that right. It is Orange versus Penta for the right to face Moxley in a last man standing match, I think it was, or some shit like that.
Well, when you're a 2-time AEW World Heavyweight Champion, you get your perks, right?
It's so dumb though, dude. It just doesn't make sense. I don't know how that works that way.
I would have Moxley squash Orange Cassidy.
That's what, me too.
I would squash him.
But it won't happen.
I feel like that match should go about 15 seconds, and that's it.
Well, I'm sorry to tell you, it's going to go 15 minutes, if not 20. You know this.
I feel like with the story they have told with Orange Cassidy and with the badass that is Jon Moxley, you could get away with doing that squash. And then Orange Cassidy goes away for 6 weeks, gets healthy, comes back, and then you get an absolute barn burner between Orange Cassidy and Jon Moxley. That's what I would do. That's what I would do.
So basically, the winner of Wednesday goes on to Saturday to face Mox. And yeah, Mox surely wins the championship. You would have thought it would have been at All Out, though, wouldn't it? Oh, no, it is at All Out, sorry, not Collision.
It is.
Wait, I'm confused. It's on Sunday, All Out, not Saturday, right?
Correct.
And Payback, WWE Payback is also on Saturday. Yeah, it goes head-to-head.
Yes.
With Collision, which is odd. But they're going to get destroyed again anyway. But anyway, who cares? Yes. But so, yeah, hopefully, if Mox wins, cool, whatever. But why build Cassidy? Not that I care, because I can't stand him at this point, because he's Roman Reigns, but stronger. I mean...
No, I feel like the story of Orange Cassidy over this title reign with him with the North American, South American, European championship.
Yeah.
Is the best story AEW has told possibly in the entire existence of the company. The Orange Cassidy, every week there's a new injury. Every week he starts selling something else. Every week he's got a little bit more tape on his neck. Every week he's got something else going on with his wrist. Like, he has been the greatest champion in AEW history. And it's just the storytelling that he has done by himself week to week. And it's been absolutely spectacular. It's been absolutely spectacular the way that Orange Cassidy has done this title reign. It's time for it to end. And let alone to somebody like Moxley, I would just have Moxley destroy him and just be like, you know what? His body finally quit. Like, Orange Cassidy finally, like, he had been pushed to his limit and he can't take any more after all these title defenses. It makes all the sense in the world to me.
But it's too deep for them to come up with this, I feel, man.
Shawn Michaels, 1996. Absolutely.
Who said that? Oh, yeah, exactly. Spot on.
That's absolutely what's going on. And I'm not an Orange Cassidy fan. I've never been an Orange Cassidy fan. But I think this is the best story AEW has told as far as long-term storytelling over the course of the last... How long has this been going on? 6 months?
At least.
It's been really good. It's been really good. Orange Cassidy is quite the performer. I can't stand him. I hate what he does, but he's a hell of a performer.
And you know what's funny? I bet you he's done this on his own. Like, he's telling a story on his own. Not that anyone told him to do it. He's just doing it anyway.
At this point, it's Orange Cassidy versus his own body. How much will his will continue to push his broken body through whatever it is going through? And eventually it's going to break, and it's going to break against Jon Moxley.
I so hope you're right, man. I hope you're right, but I don't know, man. I just don't trust this company with shit like that. Every time you get...
No, of course not. Of course not.
Exactly. Yep, exactly, Zane. He's on that Roman Reigns right now, for sure. Even better than
much
that.
better. but much better.
Anyway, post-match to that matchup, we see Kingston and Moxley lie bloodied and battered next to each other, flipping each other the bird, and best friends leave under their own power, covered in their own blood. And that's that.
You got to give the people what they want. The best friends covered in their own blood.
Yeah, cool. No one gave a fuck, I'm telling you.
And to think, at one point, Chuck Taylor was the fastest rising name on the independent wrestling scene, and Trent Beretta was almost Kenny Omega.
Almost.
True story.
Actually, funny enough, I actually didn't mind Best Friends before AEW. Heck, Trent Beretta, I remember him from fucking 20 years ago, pretty much, when he was in WWE developmental, dude. And New Japan really was, do we go with Trent or do we go with Kenny? It was that decision, and they went with Kenny. But they also tried after Kenny to sort of push him again.
They absolutely did. Nope.
It just didn't work. I mean, he doesn't understand. He's a good wrestler, right? But he looks like every other plain Jane, bro. It's his head.
And he's just too damn goofy.
That's what I mean. He's got a goofy head, goofy look.
I miss the super headband.
Yeah, back in New Japan.
You remember when Trent had long hair and his headband? Yeah, and the headband wouldn't move at all.
Yeah,
it was
such a long
hilarious.
time ago now.
It was so great.
It feels like another time now. Ever since he cut his hair, he's just a different dude. He's just bland.
He cut his hair because he was losing.
Well, yeah.
Which is why he had the permanent headband.
Well, that's true too. But isn't he in his 40s at this point?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, he looks good for his 40s, but still, whatever.
Absolutely.
Well, next we've got your AEW Women's Championship matchup between Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, versus Hikaru Shida, your champion, Saraya, and Toni Storm. I went with Saraya because you got to give the people what they want, right, Jargo? Her whole family, she came out with her family, which made it even more obvious. But you know what I took away from this match? Take one guess.
That the AEW women's division is just an absolute dumpster fire.
Not only that, but the fact that Saraya's mother looks like the real killer out there.
You know what I took from this match?
What's that?
That MJF was walking away with the title. That's what I took from this match.
As in Britt Baker?
No, if Britt Baker would have won the championship here, Adam Cole would have won the main event. You'd put the two of them together as a heel couple, each with the titles. And so that's what this signaled to me, because I thought Britt was going to walk away with this belt and turn
a lot of people
in
did.
The process. And when that didn't happen, I thought, MJF's winning the main event. Huh.
Well,
that was literally my train of thought. Thank God that's over.
Yeah, again, this match, I was dozing, bro, because this event started at 1 a.m. for me. It did go for about 7 hours, did it not, also?
Yes, this match went on for 7 hours.
No, I'm talking about the whole event in general. 6 or 7 hours, bro.
Something like that. But this match went 9 minutes, and it felt like it was 7 hours.
Yeah, 9 minutes? No.
It was just not good.
How could it feel so fucking... Wow, 9 minutes.
Good.
Well, Saraya does win, because I'm not even going to bother going through this match. Saraya wins anyway, and happy, joy. Everyone's happy. She's crying. And
so
let's just hope she doesn't desecrate that belt this time, right?
Well, how long does she hold this belt? Till next week?
Yeah, could it be a fucking woo moment where he won Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania, then drops it the week after?
Well, I mean, there were 2 times throughout this show that Mercedes Moné was showed in the crowd. She was addressed in the crowd. Did we ever get Sasha Banks versus Paige? Did that match ever happen?
In AEW or?
No, in general. Did that match ever happen?
It did.
Or was Paige gone by the time Sasha came up?
No. Sasha was the reason why Paige had to retire.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. But that was a tag match. I don't think that was a singles match. In the garden. I'm pretty sure that was a tag match. I don't think it was a singles match.
Else, right?
But showing Mercedes, it would not surprise me if Wednesday on Dynamite, Mercedes Moné shows up and issues the challenge to Saraya and takes that title from Saraya next week in Chicago. I would not be one bit surprised. And ironically enough, they would be doing to Saraya what WWE did to Sasha Banks over and over and over.
Okay, everyone's medium fire says Paige was retired from WWE, but they never made in the ring from NXT on. They did in the house show, but it wasn't 101 according to Liz. Also,
no, I don't think they ever had a singles match against each other, and the only logical conclusion with Saraya walking away with this title was that they want to do Mercedes Moné versus Saraya. That makes sense to me, but it would not shock me at all if next week in Chicago that Mercedes Moné walks out the AEW World Champion.
Better fucking walk out with it because you don't bring her in.
Do you trust Saraya with that championship? And I don't even mean all the Big Ray extracurricular activities.
Hell no.
I mean, do you trust her to stay healthy for more than like 2 to 3 weeks? Like I feel like you want to get that title off of her as quickly as possible.
Yeah, but again, then what was the point? I know it's to give the fans, a pop and whatnot, but if I was Saraya, I'd be kind of upset if that was to happen, though.
Meh.
I guess so, because Mercedes Moné,
is
definitely going to get that belt.
Is she the first woman to hold the NXT Championship, WWE Championship, AEW Championship?
So yeah, she would be 100%. I mean, this.
So I mean, it's legacy shit.
Hold on, Toni Storm might have been.
I don't think Toni Storm ever won a WWE Championship.
Yeah, she won the NXT Women's Championship and the UK Championship. I'm pretty sure.
No, I mean the WWE,
okay,
like Raw or SmackDown.
No.
I don't think she ever held one of those titles.
No. She was contender for it, but never won it. So I think,
there you go.
You're right.
There you go.
True. Facebook user says, but she can still barely take bumps.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You get that title off of her as soon as you possibly can. And I'm guessing it's this weekend in Chicago.
And Liz doesn't trust her at all also. So, yeah, interesting.
Yeah, and it's nothing against Saraya. It's just her physical health. You don't want to have to relinquish that championship again due to injury, because that has happened a lot in AEW, and it's really hurt that championship.
For sure, man. I agree 100%. Interesting. We'll see what happens, though, so we'll find out. Post-match, the Knight family all stand together in the ring to celebrate with Saraya. We see her brothers and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. I've got to admit, her brother looks fucking pretty good, man, but no one seems to be giving him a real chance. She did sort of say to TK in the post-media scrum to give her brother a chance, and apparently TK will think about it and whatnot, but we'll see. Next, we have Christian Cage and Shane Swerve Strickland versus Darby Allin and Sting in a coffin match. Was this appropriate right after the deaths we had this past week, dude?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I think so, because it's not like they announced this match after it happened, right?
That's true.
And it does go with the Darby Allin thing. It goes with, Swerve getting beat up at his school, the Nick Wayne getting beat up at his school. Like, this actually called for a coffin match. Like, that didn't even cross into my mind, to be completely honest.
Okay, interesting, because that's what went through my mind when I saw the coffin. I won't lie, but yeah.
Didn't even think about it. Didn't even think about it.
The problem with this match, though, Jargo, is that we all knew who was going to win this match. It wasn't going to be anyone other
of course
than Sting.
Of course. I mean, Sting's a legend. It's your biggest show ever.
Sting's not there to lose. Right.
I was surprised that we got Joker Sting.
But I will say, what was even cooler? The fact that he came out to Seek and Destroy, bro. I popped to that, man. We hadn't seen him come out to that since WCW, bro.
Yeah.
That was a cool moment. I won't lie.
It was almost like a Sting's greatest hits kind of match.
Sure.
Where you got you had regular Sting during the match, you had Joker Sting in the pre-match, you had the Seek and Destroy. Like, it was almost like a give Sting his flowers, because we don't know how many more of these we're gonna have. What I was happy about, I was happy that they actually presented Swerve like a star.
He's got so much potential, bro.
Yeah, he sure does.
And I feel like everyone's dropping the ball with him. They keep starting and stopping with him, dude.
And
he's always
I feel
changing
like
different people too.
There has to be a reason for that. What that reason is, I don't know, but there has to be a
Bro,
reason.
what are you alluding to, Jargo? Do you think there could be some heat?
Very well. He very well could have some heat. I don't know.
Uh,
But it seems like everywhere he goes, this happens.
Yeah, it's true. And he even called out WWE yesterday or the day before saying, you made a big mistake for firing me. And now he's going to show what he's capable of. And I want to believe him when he says that. Problem is AEW going to allow him to be the star that he truly is?
We'll see. We'll see. Black Jay White. I like that.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Medium 5 says Swerve is the Black Jay White.
I also love the idea of Swerve with Shane Taylor. I think that would be spectacular to have Shane Taylor be his bouncer.
Right.
That's how you present him, his bouncer.
Like play that role like what's his name? Mr. Hughes, bro. Remember Mr. Hughes?
Yeah, absolutely.
Have him play that role, man. Curtis Hughes. But anyway, and medium 5 says dollars. Absolutely. Yes, enforcer role. For sure, man. We agree. But we'll see. Time will tell. But I am loving Christian's fucking douchey fucking heel run though, man. I just didn't like what he said because it was cheap heat when he mentions dead fathers, dude.
Shout out to the Pretty Boy Killers. Getting a Pretty Boy Killers reference inside of the chat.
Oh, where do you see that? I didn't see that.
Keith Lee and Shane Taylor.
Oh, yes. There we go.
Yes, the Pretty Boy Killers.
They were dollars in Ring of Honor. Yeah, but that won't happen. That just won't
I
happen.
met Shane Taylor a week after he knocked Keith Lee out. That's how long I've been friends with Shane Taylor.
Oh, wait, you actually friends with Shane Taylor?
Yes.
Oh,
dude,
cool.
Shane Taylor is probably the most interviewed person that I've ever had on any of the podcasts I've ever done.
Wow, why haven't I fucking noticed that? What the hell, man? I should know.
I don't know, man. We used to interview Shane like once a year at least.
Wow, that's pretty cool, man. And I know you've got a lot of friends in the wrestling business, bro. Like, I mean, Scorpio Sky is another one, for example. He's injured again, right? Is he not?
Yeah.
Damn, that sucks, man. Just comes back after how long just for that to happen. But anyway, Darby and Sting win by putting Shane Strickland in the coffin and closing the lid. And it's game over there. But like you said, it was Sting's greatest hits. It was a cool moment, though, to hear Seek and Destroy once again. If I was TK, I'd pay for the damn thing till he retires. I mean, he loves doing it. And I forgot to mention that Saraya came out to We Will Rock You by Queen.
Yeah, of all the people to give the Queen entrance.
Of course. And I guess also the Outcasts are done now, it seems.
I'm okay with that.
Okay, cool. I didn't mind them, to be honest.
It never really caught fire for me. Just never really worked.
But yeah, who cares, though? It's irrelevant anyway. But next, we have Chris Jericho versus William Ospreay. And I'm not going to lie, I love the way Ospreay came out to an Assassin's Creed sort of look. Clearly because he's the aerial assassin, right?
Of course.
So it makes total sense. And you know what, man? I'll say this. I thought Jericho wouldn't be able to actually hang with Ospreay. But Jericho did he had a hell of a role in this match and did fucking pretty well considering his age. Is Jericho in the conversation? That's all right. I mean, did you hear what I said about Jericho, though?
No. What about Jericho?
I was surprised at the fact that he actually kept up with Ospreay in this match, dude.
Well, I feel like that is more a testament to Ospreay than it is to Jericho.
Is it really?
Personally. Though? Yeah, because this was more... I thought we were going to get a more junior heavyweight version of Ospreay in this match.
I didn't. That's why I
with
was
a lot more of the flippy shit, a lot more speed, a lot more of the aerial stuff, and instead we got main event Ospreay.
Yeah.
And that absolutely played into this whole Jericho match because I thought they were going to want Ospreay to create as much movement as possible because Jericho wouldn't be able to. That was my fear going into this match. And they proved me wrong. But I mean, that's why Jericho is arguably the GOAT. and Ospreay is
That's what I'm
arguably
saying.
the best wrestler in the world right now. I mean,
Does he
it's
leave
pretty
New
short
Japan?
list, but Ospreay's on it.
Does he? Facebook user says Ospreay's entrance has really grown on me. I mean, that's his old theme, his babyface theme, if anything.
Yeah, elevated.
Right, elevated. That's what everyone knows him for. I prefer that than any of his other songs. But the thing that confuses me, he was meant to be the heel in this match, but he was total babyface coming out. I get it's in England, but come on, man.
It was so stupid all the way around. You just turned Jericho babyface.
Right.
He's going up against Ospreay, who is a heel, but is dangerously close to being a babyface. In Wembley Stadium, in England.
Right.
And then at the end of the match, you turn Jericho heel again. What? Why?
I'm confused, bro. I'm fucking confused, man. I don't get it, dude, but
the whole thing makes absolutely no sense to me. None.
And the song sucked that he came out to, by the way. I'm talking about Jericho with Fozzy playing and him playing like a fucking Mark Tart of himself. I mean, come on, bro. Who the fuck does that?
I felt bad for Sammy Guevara for having to follow Jericho out while he was doing that.
Oh,
it's just
Jesus Christ. Oh, and he pushes at the end of the match. Ospreay does get the win, of course, as he should have, obviously. But also at the end, Sammy Guevara, he's trying to help him out, but instead Jericho has a little cry, pushes him away, and walks out of the ring to the back. And I feel bad for Sammy Guevara also. I mean, what do you do here?
I don't know.
Was this the match?
Number one, I hate Sammy Guevara as a babyface. There's nothing likable about Sammy Guevara to me.
But they keep insisting. They keep trying, dude. Like, they just keep on trying.
So just embrace being a heel.
I don't know whose fault this is, but you're right. You've been saying this for over 2 years, man. And they continue to... I don't know. I just don't get it, man. But whatever. I guess he's like the old dog Yeller now. No one's going to want Sammy Guevara, right?
No. And why should they?
Jesus Christ.
But I mean, so what? We get Guevara versus Jericho next week in Chicago?
I have no idea, possibly. But like Facebook user says, the face and heel line is pretty thin right now. Does it even exist anymore? He's not
Yes,
wrong.
Yes, it still exists. And that's why wrestling sucks, is because the wrestlers are convinced that it doesn't. But pro wrestling works its best when you want one guy to win and one guy to lose.
And always has.
Yep.
But they tried.
And that's why it sucks. That's why it sucks now.
Oh, God. Liz says, just because he's having a baby with a chick he likely cheated on the girl next door with doesn't ever make him a baby. Good comment, Liz.
Nope.
It is what it
Ever
is,
since
man.
that proposal, I cannot look at Sammy Guevara as a babyface. Can't do it.
What a piece of shit, right? I mean, that's a piece of shit, man. Like, I'm sure he's a cool dude and all, but how do you do that, dude? How do you do that to, like, poor Pam?
I feel like Sammy Guevara might be the most clueless professional wrestler since Cody Rhodes.
Or since Flip Gordon. No? Okay. You know what they say about
Cody,
Flip Gordon?
definitely.
Cody. What do you want to talk about, Jargo? Fuck, I hate that dude. Anyway, it is what it is.
The fact that Cody just doesn't understand why people dislike him, and like I'm hearing it in WWE now too, where the fans are kind of like, yeah, I'm kind of over this whole Cody thing.
Well, yeah.
Yep, they're gonna turn on him because that's what always happens. The crowd turns on Cody because Cody is just not a likable person.
He's a fake
He's
motherfucker.
just not.
He's just so fake. He's not genuine. He smiles. That smile of his is fucking heelish.
And he owes me money, so fuck him.
Yeah, that's right. He does owe you money. He's been owing you money now for years, bro.
For years.
Fucking tight ass. Come on, Cody, pay up. How many times have we told you already, for crying out loud?
Going all the way back to the original All In. Cody Rhodes owes me money.
And you were there too with R to the B to the V. That would have been a cool experience though, dude.
It was. It was great. It was once in a lifetime.
Sure. No doubt about it, man. Do you think... you know what? I'll ask you at the end maybe, but do you think this match was the match of the night?
I feel like any match with Ospreay recently has been the match of the night. He is just on a whole different level right now than basically everybody else.
Yeah, no, he impressed me in this match, dude, as he always does. Don't get me
He's
wrong,
great.
but he's changed, man. He's changed.
Did you see that matchup with Okada in the G1?
I actually didn't, dude.
He is just at a whole different level right now. It's absolutely incredible. The body of work. Oh yeah, absolutely.
So this past G1 you're talking about, right? This is the first G1 I didn't watch.
Yeah, that to me was the match of the tournament. It's
cool.
Ospreay is just he's clicking on all cylinders right now.
Interesting, because like
you
said, man,
he's the Max Verstappen of professional wrestling.
Well, I hope
if you know who Max Verstappen is, fuck that
guy. Fuck that guy, indeed.
It's terrible, just
terrible. But yeah, man. Look, do you think he leaves New Japan though, or do you think he'll stay and it's all just, bullshit? Because he's said it. I've heard him say it a million times, man. He's kind of nervous to be in the big sort of spotlight, dude. And he likes getting back to his family. Whereas if he signed with WWE, for example, he'll never get the chance to go home.
I do not think he'll sign with WWE. I do not.
You think he'll go with AEW?
Would he sign with AEW?
Yeah, because he gets to work with New Japan still.
Maybe.
I mean, they're doing they announced another New Japan show, as a matter of fact. The Dream something, whatever. Remember the old Inoki promotion?
I never thought Jay White would leave New Japan Pro Wrestling.
But he did. He married an American
here we
chick,
are.
Though. So.
But I do feel like 3 years ago, like before the pandemic, if you would have asked me this question, no, Ospreay would have been staying in New Japan Pro Wrestling. The state that New Japan is in right now, I could see him leaving. I could.
Jeez, man. Do you see New Japan bouncing back, man? Because it's been a slump since the COVID era, man, really.
Yes, but not quickly.
Yeah, that's true too.
I think they had a chance to really do something cool during the G1 this year, and they didn't. So I feel like we're going to have to wait.
Well, that sucks, man. But anyway, let's move on though. We see Nigel McGuinness in the ring, actually, funny enough, and you know what? He's teasing. First, he wants to announce that there was 81,000 fans in attendance. But you heard what I'm about to say, right?
No.
So wait, it's
absolutely not. It's a no.
Really? You don't want to see it?
Nope.
No!
Well, guess what, Jargo? You will, because at the next All In the UK, there is already talk that Nigel McGuinness versus Bryan Danielson is going to happen, dude. Two guys that shouldn't even be really in the ring, let's be honest, going at it in front of God knows how many.
There are a lot of things that AEW has done that I have not approved of.
They don't care
but
about
do
your
you
well-being,
remember,
bro, clearly.
Do you remember when they let Matt Hardy keep wrestling with a concussion?
I knew you were going to say that. I fucking knew you were going to say that. And yes, I do remember clearly.
Nigel McGuinness to wrestle would be twice as negligent as that was. There is no reason Nigel McGuinness should be cleared to wrestle. None.
Well, he's in shape too, man. And apparently that match was going to happen if it wasn't for Danielson being injured. It would have happened yesterday.
No.
I'm telling you. Did you see the picture he posted of himself in wrestling tights, bro? I couldn't believe he actually posted that shit, but he does look good. I'll give him that. But
he looks great, but it doesn't fix the internal problems that are going on with Nigel McGuinness. Nigel McGuinness should never be cleared to wrestle. Period.
Well, Facebook user says they all want to die in the ring. Fuck, it seems like it, right? It is what it is. Man, I don't get it with these guys, man. They can't let it go, man. They just can't. I don't get it, but whatever. It is.
Well, it's different when it's something like Nigel, where it was taken away from you through no fault of your own, right?
Right, and I understand that, but still, dude, he can't wrestle. I mean, I've heard
he cannot wrestle.
He could be having early signs of dementia, even or some shit. There was talk of that.
Yeah, no, I have no desire to see Nigel McGuinness back in the ring. None.
And they're both guys that got head trauma problems, bro. And these two were absolutely hit each other. I'm telling you. They're gonna do all sorts of silly shit in the ring too. But anyway, we'll see what happens. But it looks like it's probably a go. But let's move on to the next match, shall we? And thank God we're finally sort of on the home run, Jargo. Finally. That's why I'm not going through the match hold for hold because we'll be here all day. But we have the Trios World Championship matchup. Apparently it's a no-holds-barred house rules match, and it is Badass Billy Gunn and the Acclaimed versus the House of Black in Brody King, Buddy Matthews, and Malachi Black. And the house wins, and apparently it was the Acclaimed that picked the stipulation, right?
Yeah, that's the way the house rules matches work.
And guess what? What difference would have it made? Because it would have been a no-holds-barred match either way, right? So how dumb is the stipulation?
But you see what happened was they weren't prepared. They weren't prepared for the badass Billy Gunn. They were prepared for daddy ass. They weren't prepared for badass Billy Gunn.
Please, really? I was hoping we would get the one Billy Gunn. Or maybe Billy and Chuck. I keep saying this for years, bro.
I want Smoking Gun.
Smoking Guns with Bart Gun?
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody wants to be a cowboy.
I liked actually Billy Gunn during the Smoking Gun days, bro. They were a pretty good tag team, dude.
I thought that this was smart to put right before the main event.
Yeah, of course. This was great.
Because this was absolutely a different pace. When you're coming out of Ospreay Jericho and you're going into the main event,
you have to sit down a little bit, right?
I thought this was really, really smartly placed.
Because that way you would have had crickets during the main event.
I don't understand putting the Acclaimed over, but
neither do I, dude. I fucking didn't get it either.
I hate to tell them, but not everybody loves the Acclaimed.
Yeah, I used to love the Acclaimed.
I don't love the Acclaimed.
The rap was pretty funny. The fact that he mentioned, and I'm talking about Max Caster, Prince Andrews, oof. That's balls,
well, and
bro.
I feel like the other problem was this match started like 6 hours into the show.
Yeah, I was sleeping by this point. I was on the nod, bro.
Right.
Close to it. I'm not lying. Close to it.
Yeah. Just not my cup of tea.
But the House of Black do come out with a nice touching tribute to Bray Wyatt with the lantern and the fireflies and everything else. As a matter of fact, I felt like there was a tribute also with the Sting entrance to Bray Wyatt. The way the lights went out, it was exactly like the Wyatt family, the and then we're here. So I thought that was a touching thing too. I don't think many people really noticed that, but I did. But this one was the obvious dedication to Bray Wyatt, which was cool to see. But the fact that
the guys to do it. These were the guys to do it. Absolutely.
Dude, if they were in WWE, imagine these guys under Bray Wyatt too. It would have worked, man. It would have been great too, mind you. But unfortunately, we're never going to see that. But the fact that House of Black lost this match, though, is just ridiculous, dude. And I know these guys, other than, what's it called, Brody, Buddy Matthews and Aleister Black or Malachi Black, I know for a fact, they've said it publicly, they don't want to be there, but TK ain't letting him go, so they got no other reason but to stay, because the dopey idiots signed long-term contracts, but that's on them, you know what I mean?
I really like what Malachi Black is doing.
But did you see the boots?
I'm not big on Buddy.
The boots.
I'm just
really?
The what?
The boots. It was all over Billy Gunn's boots, bro. The vignette on Dynamite or Collision, one or the other, was great, but it was weird because it was over the boots.
Right. Yeah.
Think about that for a moment. Boots.
I mean,
it
makes more sense than a lot of AEW matches. So
I know, it's just ridiculous. But yeah, you're saying. Continue on with what you were saying originally.
I'm just not big on Buddy Matthews.
Why is that? You're one of the first to say that. He's got no personality. That's one thing. He really doesn't.
None.
In ring, though, he can go.
Yeah, he can go. He can also get beat.
The look. Right.
Yeah.
He's got a good look, too.
But there's nothing about it that's special.
He can't talk on the mic. got no personality. Like, he really doesn't. So I don't know how he got mummy, but he did. Yeah, he's pretty bland, dude. I've always said that. But he's great. But people love him just because of how good he is in the ring. But whatever, I guess.
Yeah. I don't see anything special about him.
Like, what is he? He's got to drop the Buddy name. How can you be part of fucking House of Black and be called Buddy?
I mean, let's say that Malachi Black was granted his release. Right. Brody King goes off as a single. He's one of the biggest, baddest dudes in AEW. He has a career. What do you do with Buddy Matthews? What do you do with Buddy Matthews?
Going by AEW logic, Jargo, Buddy Matthews would be pushed to the moon and Brody King would be absolutely jobbed. Because you know why? And I've been saying this for years, dude. If you're over 6 foot and under 250 and over 250, you're getting jobbed. The big guys get jobbed in AEW, bro. That's what happens. And tell me when I'm telling lies, Jargo, because there's a lot of evidence.
Oh, come on.
I had to. It's true though, man.
I feel like the ceiling on Buddy Matthews is the AEW North, South, West, East African championship.
Doesn't matter, dude. He falls under the criteria, which means pushed to the moon. Literally.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, dude. Brody King would be a fucking loser, bro. Straight up.
I feel like there's a half a dozen Buddy Matthews in every independent wrestling federation throughout the world.
Right, but look at Lance Archer, right? Look at Big Bill.
Yeah.
Look at I can go on Miro, Hobbs.
Yeah.
Do you want me to go on and on? I mean, Colorado.
No.
Not that it matters.
But a lot of those guys are in the same category as Buddy Matthews and have no personality.
I think Lance Archer does. I liked his gimmick.
I feel like when you look at Brody King looks different than all those guys.
Yeah,
you look at Brody King and you can tell there's something different about that guy. I think Brody is successful outside of it. I want to see Brody King go to Japan. I mean, personally.
Oh, he'd be a huge deal in Japan. He has wrestled in Japan while he was under Ring of Honor, right? So, yeah, like, I can see that for sure.
Yeah, but I just want to see him stay there.
Yeah, but I think he likes where he's at right now. I think he's pretty happy. The other
sure
two are clearly not. They want to be with their girls in WWE, man. So it is what it is. I don't know what happens there, but yeah, House of Black do lose. The Acclaimed, everybody apparently loves the Acclaimed, but not us anymore.
No, I don't love the Acclaimed.
Badass Billy Gunn are your new AEW Trios World Champions. As a matter of fact, they didn't even mention the Trios Championships on the build-up, not once. It was the commentators that had to say
totally irrelevant.
They don't give a fuck, and I don't blame them. What? They're idiots, dude. There's not enough 3-man fucking teams for those belts. Not to mention they still have the Ring of Honor 6-man championships also.
By the way, I completely agree. Brody and Bateman would be fantastic. Big Bateman fan.
Oh shit! Imagine that.
I've been following Bateman since Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. Big fan of Bateman. Like that dude.
I've watched a lot of. Well, I did watch a lot of wrestling from Hollywood. With what isn't it? Dave Marquez that owns all those little territories. As a matter of fact, he's got more. There's Championship Wrestling from Atlanta now and whatnot.
Arizona,
right? I think that's it. They're the main 3 that he's got going. And shout outs to our boy Bulletproof Troop, who's killing, and Chris Silvio, who's starting to kill it, man. Both of them in NWA. I mean,
absolutely.
I can see Troop, man. You know, under Silvio's guidance, man, I can see Troop. He's starting to get that. He's going places, bro.
Yep.
His story about him and Braun Strowman not talking anymore is quite funny, man. I don't know if you heard that story at all, but.
No, I have not. I will ask him that.
Oh, ask him, dude. I mean, I don't know. Oh, he did say it on the podcast, so I guess it doesn't really matter. But someone put it this way: someone from the former NXT. You know, remember the what was Strowman and EC3's promotion again? Create your narrative.
Control your narrative.
Or control your narrative. Like that. That's it.
Yep.
Dude, he was at a party of some sort of shit with Strowman and EC3, and someone from the back pushes him. right? And he's like, he turns around, he's like, what the fuck, right? Like, who the fuck is this motherfucker? You know what I mean? And cut a long story short, what's that British motherfucker's name, dude? I fucking forgot. The one with the no tooth. He was in NXT recently.
Oh,
not Thatcher, the other one.
No, the other one.
Fuck. The bald guy, man.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it's not coming to
I
me.
can picture him.
I should know his name, but it's not coming. Someone in the chat tell me who I'm talking about. Anyway, basically, he fucked him up. Like, he punched him. He knocked him out. Gave him a big slap. Because he didn't know who it was. And, he got heat for that. To cut a long story short. But he's like, who the fuck are you, motherfucker? Like, I'm a fighter. Like, he took it seriously. I don't blame him. But, vets doing vet things to, like, up-and-comers, bro. Testing him out. Not Biff.
Biff Busick.
Biff. No. It's another one. He's got, like, I think a tooth missing.
Wasn't it his tag team partner? Wasn't he Biff's tag team partner for a while?
I'm not sure, man. He would wear blue trunks. I think him and Thatcher were together a lot. Fuck, man. I forgot his name. Anyway, you'll know. Once I see the name, I'll know it straight away. But anyway, it's irrelevant. But I found that story kind of funny. Go check it out on YouTube. Just type Troop, it'll come up. But anyway, as we said, the Acclaim win and Badass Billy Gunn win the Trios Championship. Big deal. And on top of that, Jargo, what made me want to puke, or should I say puke? Literally.
R.I.P. Draws.
Yeah, exactly. R.I.P. man, to Draws. House of Black yanked the Trios titles out of the new champion's hands, only to hand it back to him and give him the respect. Why?
I don't know.
Was it only Larkin? Yeah, I think it was only Larkin, as a matter of fact. Oh, no, Danny Burch.
Danny Burch.
Yep. That's the one. Good one, Medium 5. Thank you very much. Danny fucking Burch. He knocked him out with a slap. Anyway, yeah, and then Braun Strowman got really upset with him, telling him, get out, man. Yeah. Fucking funny. Raquel Rodriguez also was there, and she was telling him to, like, he's with us, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, he calls it a real fucking... But then again, if you're fucking Danny Burch, don't go pushing, some dude that you don't even know. You know what I mean? Like, come on now. How else do you expect him? He's an MMA fighter.
It seems almost as wise as picking a fight with CM Punk if you're Jungle Boy Jack Perry.
Right. Well, he didn't know that. I mean, fuck, to be fair, but it is what it is. Go a set, fucking Strowman. Anyway, let's move on to the main event. I don't know why the House of Black gave the belts, like, gave all respect, like they're good baby faces and respect them, please. There goes their whole gimmick. But it is Adam Cole, baby, versus Maxwell Jacob Freeman for your AEW World Championship. And again, Jug, I'm not going to lie, this match went way too long for me. Too much
29 minutes.
Way too long. Dude, I fell asleep. And then I woke up right at the end. I mean, if I was to go through this match move for move, we'll be here for another 40 minutes. I kid you not.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Another 40 minutes. No shit. Easily.
So where does the story go from here? Because it felt like this was the time when somebody was going to turn around and stab somebody in the back. Like, is the Adam Cole MJF story, is it that friendship is the greatest thing ever? Like, is that what we're doing?
Friendship prevails, Jargo.
I just don't know where it goes from here.
Listen, he's not just any scumbag, but he's our scumbag, Jargo. Remember that.
But what do you do with Adam Cole at this point?
Well, to be fair, and hats off to MJF, I think initially they were doing this to build Adam Cole, because before this, Cole was going straight down the pecking order. No one gave a fuck about him anymore. He looked too skinny, looked weird. I think MJF has managed to get Cole over again, dude. No kidding. And hats off to MJF for actually achieving that. But where do you go with Cole? I mean, there's teasers of the Kingdom. Remember, Cole used to be part of the Kingdom once upon a time.
Yes, I remember fondly.
Right, but geez, he's been part of a lot of friggin' stables when you think about it. But I don't care about fucking the Kingdom anymore. They're done and dusted, bro.
I don't want that to happen strictly because I feel like Matt Taven's better than that. Like, I feel like Matt Taven has earned his spot as the leader of the Kingdom. He doesn't need Adam Cole at this point.
as wasn't it you and I always praising Matt Taven, and everybody used to think, what the fuck is wrong with us?
Yeah, I've always been much higher on Matt Taven than most people.
For some reason, they just don't do it with him, man. There's been so many opportunities to do that with him, but for whatever reason, they keep him down, dude. And right now, he's at his lowest he's ever been. Doesn't matter if he's in AEW or not. He's just irrelevant. And is it too little too late with Matt Taven? No one cares anymore, to the point where I think he's got that Ziggler heat now.
Well, I think the problem with Matt Taven was he walked out of Madison Square Garden with the ROH championship, right? Like,
yeah, it wasn't ready at that time, though.
It should not have been Matt Taven. It should have been Marty Scurll that walked out of the Garden.
He was red hot at that time.
He was
too, dude.
red hot. And instead they put the title on Taven. And then they blamed Taven when it didn't work. And it was just like, well, Taven wasn't ready for that spot at that point.
Right. It's true, man.
I've always been very, very high on Matt Taven. I don't know what's missing there, but I don't feel like he should go back to being Adam Cole's lackey. I don't feel like that's where he even should be slotted at this point.
Right. And it's no, you're right. And the thing is, it's weird because there is something missing from Taven, right? In a way. Like, I don't know what it is. It just comes across like he's not hungry, dude. Like he's over it. Like he's not trying anymore. And maybe that's... I don't know, man. But I don't blame him for feeling that way. Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean?
Like when he was the AAA Mega Champion, that was the highlight of Matt Taven. Like so far, that to me was his career pinnacle.
I agree, man. It's weird, dude. But for whatever reason, I guess he's content now because he's probably come to the realization, I ain't going to get any higher than this.
So now my question becomes, what do you do with these two? Because somebody has to turn. Somebody has to turn on the other.
But when? When do you do it? Do you do it this week with All Out? Is it too soon?
I feel like they should have done it at All In, honestly.
But they did.
I feel like it was primed because now I feel like it's jumped the shark.
That's what I'm saying. So you can't do it now. You can't just do it a week later. You got to run with it a little longer, don't you think?
But the thing that sucks is, for like the better part of a decade, I've been waiting for the good Adam Cole babyface run, and we haven't got it. I'm afraid that if you turn Max heel again, he'll never be able to be a babyface. But I don't know if he's ready to be the babyface of the company. Right? Like, because wrestling as a babyface versus wrestling as a heel are two very, very different characteristics. Absolutely. Right?
Absolutely.
Can Max wrestle that underneath babyface, sell your ass off kind of match? Because we've never seen him do it. Well, Adam Cole can.
That's true, but this is his first singles matchup as that type of babyface, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think so.
So let's give him, let's give him a chance.
But if you turn him heel again, he's going to be a heel for the rest of his career.
Right.
He'll be Ric Flair.
Well, like I said on the media scrum, he was healing it up big time, dude, which surprised me. But I think he's ready to be that babyface if given the chance, really. I do think he's ready. He's ready. In his own mind, I think he can carry the company.
Have we ever seen that happen? Have we ever seen it happen where a heel wins the championship and turns babyface while still champion? Have we ever seen that happen before?
Not while still champion, I can't think. No, not while
still champion. I do feel like we're in very uncharted territory here.
Oh, Bret Hart, if you want to say that, to an extent.
Yeah, kinda.
It wasn't true heel, though, because he was a heel in the States and a babyface everywhere else.
Right.
So that's a bit of gray there.
Yeah, I feel like they have to be very, very careful here because, for me anyway, while they have managed to turn MJF into a babyface, these vignettes and whatnot that they've been running with MJF and Adam Cole are making both of them unlikable.
Yeah, they're
So
both dicks. They're both dicks.
yeah,
really.
they're both
and it's
dicks.
coming out
And he's
that
like,
way, right.
at least with the MJF thing is, I'm your scumbag.
Right.
Okay, so we have a little bit of Stone Cold here, right? Where it's like Stone Cold Steve Austin never really turned babyface. He was always a heel. It was just people really,
But
really
he was
liked
the
him.
anti-hero, though. The
Right.
anti-hero. You know what I'm saying? So,
Is that what we have to do with Max?
but is he really an anti-hero, though? Like,
Do we
not.
make him our scumbag? And so he still works as a heel? Like, and he's still MJF, but he just flips it around on heels? Is that what we're doing? Like, how does MJF work as a babyface?
I have no idea, because he just came out of nowhere, let's be honest, right? There was no reason. It just happened.
But unfortunately, this has happened like 3 or 4 times at this point. It happened with Cody. It happened with Jericho. It's happening with Adam Cole. And I feel like there's another one in there.
Kenny?
No.
To an extent. He did sort of switch between heel babyface here and there.
Well, no. I mean with Max. When Max was with Cody.
No, you're right.
When Max was with Jericho. Now, Max with Adam Cole. Like, you can't keep doing this. Oh, I'm a good guy. I'm going to be friends with you. And then he turns around and stabs him in the back. Like, at a certain point, you become Ric Flair. Right?
No,
like,
yeah. Actually, yeah. Flair is one of his favorite wrestlers, funny enough. He mentioned that on
well, as well, he should be. But I mean, if you ever want to be a babyface, you can't break Dusty Rhodes' leg. Like, there's just certain things like you can't. There's no going back from that. Don't trust anybody.
Exactly. Right, and he's the one that shouldn't be trusted, though, deep down.
But if that's the case, do you turn him babyface, or do you just go all in, unintended, and make him a new Ric Flair, where he is going to be a heel for the rest of his career?
I don't know, man. He can play the babyface role pretty good when he wants to. When he switches it on, it's fucking funny to me. Because to me,
I want CM Punk Chicago 2011. That's what I want out of Max. Where he is still very much a heel, but he's our heel. Like, if you're gonna go babyface, he has to be our scumbag.
So like Zane Vicious says, I remember when Ricochet said, "I'm the dirtiest player in the game," except this time it's your dirtiest player. I mean, that's exactly.
But this is one of those things and this is happened so many times over the course of the years, right? A heel can't turn on another heel and make somebody a babyface.
No,
it doesn't work.
It really
doesn't. It
just
as a heel, you can't turn on another heel, and that makes that heel a babyface. No, he's still an unlikable douchebag, right?
Right.
And I agree. Flair was a terrible babyface, except for Royal Rumble '92.
Yeah,
but even then, he was still playing a heel, but he was clearly the babyface.
Yeah, because, well, first of all, he did the promo with a tema. Like, the second he did that, that was it. You know what I mean? He wasn't like a full-blown heel. And plus, it was a great moment, let's be honest. I mean, that was a big deal because of the way he came in from WCW as your real world
because
champion.
He had the big gold belt.
Right, and they'll blur it out. But you knew it was the NWA World Championship at the time.
I mean, I almost feel like the best case scenario right now, what I would do is I would do MJF versus CM Punk, unify the titles, and do a double turn where Punk goes heel and Max goes big.
An Austin and Hart moment?
Yep. Where Punk goes heel and Max goes full-fledged babyface.
That's an interesting... but do we have it to the point...
Because that's pretty much where we're at now. But you can't do it in Chicago this week.
No,
if that's the plan, you cannot do that in Chicago.
And assuming that Punk is suspended kayfabe, right? We're assuming if that's the case. But we'll find out. We'll see.
Yes, Zane. One heel can justify their actions or do something incredibly heinous. That doesn't make the other one a babyface.
That's true.
Just doesn't.
True. But Menu M5 also says that's the only other way to go, and it would need at least 4 months. Yeah, it's true. But AEW don't build like this. That's the problem. So we're not going to get 4 months, and it is what it is. Well,
you're lucky if you get 4 days.
Yeah, it's weird booking, bro. I used to call it bipolar booking, but this is Tourette's friggin'.
It's Tourette booking. Yes,
It fucking truly is, bro. I mean, no
It
offense to
really
anyone
is.
who has Tourette's,
Yep.
but it fucking feels that way. It's like I don't know what to think anymore. But anyway, Jargo, in saying that, man, we've done 2.5 hours, man. I can't believe it, right? Imagine,
Woo.
I mean, 2.5 hours. Wow. But it flew, man. So in saying that, you know what? Let's take it home, bro. I think it's time, Chew. I mean, unless there's anything else we need to cover, I don't think there is.
I don't know what.
No, I think that's about it, man. But in saying that, Jargo, man, tell them where they can find you, my friend.
Don't. I don't want to talk to you. I don't do social media. You can go follow my account, but it ain't going to do you any good because I'm still not going to talk to you. Those social media platforms are at Not Jargo. If you really want to talk to me, you know what you need to do? You need to go to @OpinionHaver, tell the vet that you're trying to get a hold of Jargo, and have the vet get a hold of me because I always answer the vet.
Absolutely. Shout out to the vet, man. Who's back doing vet things, man. And so nothing else, nothing to promote.
Nothing. Nothing.
Wow.
Absolutely nothing.
That was the quickest rundown, man. Well,
I don't
You know
do
what?
anything. I don't do these shows anymore, Jimmy.
I know that sucks, dude, because you need to be doing these shows because you're one of the best at doing these damn shows. But before we do go, if you had to give it a letter grade, this show overall, between A and F, what would it be?
For All Out?
For All In.
Or yeah, All In. I'll go C+.
C+. Oh, yeah, you know what? I'm going to go... C has been my friggin' letter for AEW for the last 3-4 weeks. And I'll say C+ also. Look, it was a great show because of the occasion of the show. It had that spectacle of it. But really, when you break it down, a lot of the matches were unnecessary, let's be honest. Too many tag matches. The show went far too fucking long. Just it is what it is. And I was falling asleep towards the end. I couldn't help it, man. It was 5 in the morning by this point. 6. It ended at 8 in the morning, bro. For me, I was like, I'm done. Like straight up done. But I think I'll give it a C+. And that's that. Yeah, C+ for sure. So from All In, we go All Out. Are we going to do the hokey pokey? Well, tune in and find out next week, where we will review All Out. I don't know if Jargo will be back for that, but yeah, I will be. But in saying that, I am Jimmy T. Oh, actually, before I go, please like and subscribe right here at the PWCNetwork.podbean.com, where you can find all our other shows. Also, channelattitude.com, where for $5 you get the best talk in all of professional wrestling, and HaminMediaGroup.podbean.com, where you can find all our affiliate shows. And that's a wrap, Jargo. So I think we're out of here. In saying that, I am Jimmy T. That is Dr. Michael Jargo, and you've been listening and watching the PWC AEW All In post-game show right here on the PWC Network, and it's a wrap. A thank you.
The PWC Network. What the world is watching and listening to. PWC Network. What the world is watching and listening to.